Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Welcome back. Welcome back. We're back with season 1 of Ready to Love, Make a Move, episode 8. And guys, how's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Doing good.
I can't believe we got our special guest, Ron, in the building. Hey, Ron, what's going on?
Everything's good. Missed you guys. Good to see you.
Miss you.
Yeah, missed you too. Right. Oh, I got my phone on. Okay, let me get this down. But guys, we were talking, I guess instead of talking weather, we were just talking about concerts. So let's go around the room. Sean, you want to tell us some of the one of the 1 or 2 best concerts you've ever attended? Because Sean here is like a concert guy. So tell us about that, and we're gonna just go around the room real quick before we get started.
Well, my best concert, I like musicianship. My best concert was in 2010. I went to see Earth, Wind, and Fire. And
wow.
But I went to 2013, and then last year, 2022, I had one of the best experiences. Layla Hathaway. That's my girl. She's my girlfriend. She just don't know it.
Okay. She your girlfriend. She just don't know it. Somebody better call and tell her, Layla Hathaway. And right over, thank you for that, Sean. JR, you want to tell us about some of the best concerts you've attended over in the UK or wherever in the world?
Yeah, best concert I attended was the Wu-Tang Clan when they all came over some years ago, but it was very memorable. And at the time, they were like one of my favorite groups. So I enjoyed that, and it was local. Like they actually came very close to my hometown. So yeah, it was all good.
Nice. Ron, you want to give us your one of your most favorite concerts that you've attended in recent years?
Yeah, I forgot about this concert. One of my favorite ones, and I always wished it came back. It was just a one-off. Was the Bad Boy reunion concert?
Who was that?
It was some years back, but I mean, literally, like there was no butts that touched the seat the whole concert. Like everybody was just vibing, like, and it was one of those one of those concerts that I was like, I don't really want to go to this, but I think somebody I was dating there wanted to go, and I'm glad I went. It was my favorite concert. Like Toto came out, like they had the old Bad Boy artists, Mace, and then you even had like French Montana was on Bad Boy at the time, so you had the newer people out. It was just a vibe, the whole thing.
Okay. And was this in Houston? Were you here in Detroit? Where were you at?
I was in Houston. I think they did a tour, but it was like a one time. You know what I mean? They'll hit a city one time. It wasn't like they came back twice. It wasn't a redo of a concert. It was just literally like they hit them cities, and if you saw it, you saw it. If you did it, you did it. But if you asked somebody who went, they all said the same thing. It was like one of the best concert shows I ever went to.
Oh wow! Okay, all right. And Calvin, thank you for that. Ron, Calvin, what about you? What about?
Well, I'm gonna go old school.
Okay.
Frankie Beverly and Maze. Now don't ring a bell. Frankie Beverly and Maze. I've seen them several times throughout the year. And one concert that they did at Comerica Park for the community, and the concert was falling apart. Kim was there. He was the host, and the concert was falling apart. But they came on last, and they put it right back on track. and they sung songs from the 70s, and people still loved it, But the concert was falling apart at Comerica Park, and they didn't know what to do. But Frankie Beverly came on last and put it right back on track. So you have to respect
Wow.
that. You have to respect that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That Frankie Beverly, I've seen him.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen him 100 times. I'm gonna tell
Same
you, it
here,
was
same here, same
at,
here.
at one point because he comes to Detroit so often in the
Mhm.
summertime at the
Yeah.
what is that? It's the open air theater right there off the water, off the river.
Aretha Franklin Park, yeah.
Well, now it is Aretha Franklin,
It was
right?
Shane Park, but Aretha Franklin
Shane
Park.
Park. Yeah, it used to be Shane Park. Right. I think I saw him like every summer, like in my
Yeah.
20s and 30s, to
Yeah.
the point where I almost literally got tired of him. But you're right, though. He is a consummate
Yeah.
performer, professionalist, professional. Some of
Mhm.
my best concerts I've seen at the now the Aretha Franklin is now the Aretha
Yeah.
Franklin
Yeah.
Amphitheater. That
Mhm.
is a great venue.
It
That
is,
is a
yeah.
great venue.
Mhm.
Yeah. But guys, I see in the chat, Roro has actually been
All right.
to
I tell.
she's go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Sean.
No, I was gonna tell you
That's
another good
amazing.
concert I had. Will Downing. Will Downing. Will Downing.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is excellent.
Will Downing.
You know, I would like to see him. I've seen him several times too, at where we were just saying off the water, off the river, on a summer night. I've seen him like for 5, 6 summers in a row. What I did miss is he and Rochelle Farrell coming together. I did not see that. Anybody catch he and Rochelle Farrell?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they sang that
I
Master
didn't.
Jam together.
I saw,
Yeah.
yeah. Nothing has
Okay.
ever felt like this. Yeah.
Yeah, that right
I
there.
seen
That
him
I
and
catch
Gerald
my
Albright.
Gerald Albright. Okay, I catch my whole soul when Will Downing and Rochelle Farrell sang that song. I catch my whole soul, and if I'm on the track running or I'm
Yeah.
out running, I just feel like a bird, like I could fly when they're singing that song right there. Someone is saying in the chat, "High five, hey!" You saying that
All
Anita
right.
Baker? Oh wow, you caught Anita Baker and Luther Vandross. Oh my
Okay.
God, that had to be amazing. I've seen Luther Vandross, and weirdly, oddly enough, Anita Baker, who is has adopted Detroit as her hometown. I have never seen her, and I like everybody I know here has seen her, but I'm like the third person out. I have never seen her, and I love her. I love her music. You know. So, guys, we just wanted to talk about that a little bit, get us started instead of
Yeah.
the weather. We usually start with the weather, right? But everybody's weather is okay. JR, are you okay? Are you wearing your mittens now, your gloves out?
Oh man, I've got my hoodie on and everything. It's cold. It's rainy.
Yeah.
Man. But this is what happens around this time of year. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, go turn the heater on.
Turn that heater on. There you go. Oh, wait a minute. Who saw Nina Simone? No, you did
Wow.
not. Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God. I think I'm about to. Oh my! I'm clutching my pearls right now. Are you serious? Nina Simone, the Nina Simone. Oh my God! What a privilege. High five. That is absolutely amazing. That's like, the one person that, okay, so you saw Nina Simone. I would have loved to see Nina. The other person that I never saw, passed away too early for me. Marvin Gaye. And he's like my favorite musical artist of all time, beyond
Of
anybody
course.
else. I love Marvin Gaye. I literally love him. So I don't know. I missed him. But that's a good one, girl. That's a good one. But let's go ahead and get started because we got a lot to cover here. You know what's going on here with this show. We pick up where we left off last week with Ashley and Donald discussing his brief 1-year marriage when he was 21 years old. And I'm a little surprised because when we left off last week, Ashley, she was like seeming like she was really going to be upset. Like she was like, "What? You say what?" And she was just all like, all in her feelings and the feels and everything. But then when we come back on this episode, she actually calmed down and she actually took it, I thought, fairly well. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let's get Ron in there. Let's see what Ron has to say. Ron, what did you been watching this show? What's going on? I know you friends with some of these ladies, so you been watching this show? Ron may be away from his mic, so Ron, let me know when you come back. Okay. Jr. Jr. What did you think? Did you think that Ashley calmed down enough?
Yeah, because I think she was given more context around, like, obviously that how long ago it was, how old they both were, and it didn't last long. So I think she kind of warmed up to the idea because, in some way, I think she felt it was admirable, like being so young and wanting to choose to get married at such a young age. So it wasn't so bad as what she first may have thought from hearing him say that. But again, I'm surprised that they hadn't discussed it before, because the way he initiated the conversation was like, yeah, I told you I was married before, right? So I'm thinking you would know if you had said that before.
Right.
And you would have seen her reaction. So he knew, but with more context given, I think at the age that they are, like coming up to 40, there are a lot of people who have been married before by the time they reach 40. So it's not really a big deal.
I think for most people it wouldn't be, but do you have a feeling sometimes? I don't know if it's Ashley and this whole concept of she doesn't want to be, what does she call it? The rebound person?
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that
She
say
also,
again, Kelvin?
I was saying she still has issues with abandonment. So, but
Ooh.
the thing about it is that, like you said, at the age there, if you haven't been married, the chance you have lived with somebody, or maybe somebody's in that lifetime, in that time frame. So for her to get hypersensitive about him being married, was that fair? Was that fair? Because at 40 years old, you have lived a certain kind of life on some level. Hopefully, you have been in love, enough to be married or be committed to somebody. And instead of just out here dibbling and dabbling, I mean, come on now.
What you say, dibbling and a dabbling?
You're 40 years old. You should have had some kind of commitment with somebody on a deeper, extensive level, you would think.
Well, you know what? You're going to have to say that same energy, Calvin, for when we get to Mizell's portion of this show, because Mizell is 55 and he ain't never been married.
But have you ever been committed to somebody? Have you been in a long-term relationship at 55? That's a long time. Yeah, to not have been have you had a significant relationship that was long-term,
Yeah, it's a long time to be, as you say, dibbling and a dabbling.
That's not fair to you as an individual to just be out here going through life with no attachment to nobody. That's not fair.
I say this. Now, you know what, Calvin? I say this. If you're going to be a dibbler and a dabbler for your whole life, or even for a long period of time, just be honest and let the people that you're dibbling and dabbling with and playing with their hearts, let them know up front, and then they have a choice as to whether they want to waste time, spend time, and be with you, or they want to move on to the next person that may be more serious. So that's, I say, just be honest about it. And I think that's a thing we're going to see with Mizell a little bit later on too. Sean, what are you thinking about Ashley and the Donald and this whole marriage thing? What were your thoughts about it before we move on?
The proverbial pregnant pause, to keep us on from eggshells from one week to the next week. I, I thought he was gonna say much longer than a year, because the way it was built up looked like it was more than a year. But I mean, like that Cal said, I mean, he was real young, 21 years old at the time, so that's what 14 years ago for him. He admitted it was a mistake, that they should not have gotten married. So it was what it was. It wasn't like he was currently married. So that's it.
That's true. That is true. It's not like he's still married. And I think you bring up a good point that he brought up something that he said about not knowing the person. The next time he would take the time to get to know the person. So I thought, yeah, that might be helpful. I mean, because if you're not going to get to know the person, maybe just sign up for maths.
Yeah.
Married at first sight.
Yeah. But then, do you know yourself at 21?
Yeah.
That's not. What do you know besides a feeling?
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Now
That's
it
true.
could be a thing like in the South. Could be like a thing in the South. It could have been a shotgun wedding. I don't know.
Well, he said himself there was no property. He said the divorce was $200, no property involved, and no children. So unless that baby disappears some kind of way, I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead and move forward. I just thought it was odd that she said that he hadn't told her until now. Oh, and one other thing I want to point out and get your guys' take on. One other thing that came out of this. Ashley says that she figures that Don is a hopeless romantic, and she says that she's just like that too. Did anybody feel any kind of way about her being a hopeless romantic or saying that he was a hopeless romantic? Did you agree with her?
But then she liked that aspect about him because she can relate to it. Because you're still looking for love. You haven't given up on it, you know. It's just that you have to find the person and find your level of understanding about what love is and pursue it, you know. So that kind of brought them back to a peaceful, healthier accord because she can see that you want to get married. I want to get married too. So maybe at some point in time, we'll both find love, you know. You're not trying to avoid love, you're embracing it.
You're embracing it. That is true. JR, you look like you have something you want to jump in and say. What's going on?
Now, I mean, I can definitely see Ashley as being a hopeless romantic because I think she follows her emotions probably more than some of the other ladies do. She's very expressive. And if she likes someone, I guess she makes it very evident and will go a long way to try and see if a relationship can come from it. And that's not a flaw. That's just the way that some people are.
Yeah.
And you know, if she likes people that are scrambling and scraping, as P. Diddy says, like you know, that may be the type of situation that she's used to.
Behind the scenes in the green room, but continue on, sir.
So yeah, like I think I'm not surprised that she's a hopeless romantic, and I'm not surprised that she appreciates that side of him either. That's right up her street, right?
Yeah,
and I think the initial comments when she heard that he was married, when he told her, she was like, "Oh no, so I'm not going to be the first." You know, that was her whole thing. So you know, I think that it's really something that resonates with her, that romantic, that hopeless romantic element. I think she really enjoys that.
Yeah, Mizell said he won't be ready to marry for 2 years from now. 2 years, and this is after his 2 daughters are all grown women. But okay, yeah, knock yourself out, Mizell. Okay. And then we also see in this scene one other thing too. I guess I said I was ready to wrap it up, but we do see, I thought it was interesting. So Ashley, they're playing this card game, you know, getting to know each other, getting intimate and asking questions. And so the question was, what does he think of her? And Donald tells Ashley that he finds her amazing, intelligent, driven, healed, and that she matches his intellect. I want to get your take, JR. I want to get your take on that. What was it that threw you off about that description of Ashley? Was that an accurate description in your opinion?
If he didn't mention the healed part, then it's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think you know, that showed me when he used those terms, he either doesn't know her well yet and isn't seeing what we're seeing, or he was trying to butter her up, like gas her up a bit. You know,
Ooh, not the
um,
gassing, not the gaslighting.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah,
again, he was being cordial, being nice, but healed.
yeah,
Nah, like
not healed.
she's been shown to be quite still hung up on her previous relationship from years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't use the term healed for Ashley. Happy, but not healed.
Yeah, like you said early on when we first met Ashley, she is bubbly this season. Like you called her. I think she is very bubbly, but I also
Yeah.
think that now that we've seen enough of her, quite a bit of her, I think that I feel like, I can't say we, but I feel like the bubbly is a cover up for something which I haven't quite figured out, but it's a cover up.
It's
Um,
overcompensation.
Right.
Overcompensate. Thank you. That's the word I was searching for.
For her insecurity.
Overcompensation. Her insecurities. Yes,
Exactly.
she definitely, Calvin, to your point, she definitely comes across as insecure. And I guess here's the thing I want to ask you guys. I have to wonder, does she see Don's value? She's asking Don, what does he think of her? And he's giving her all these accolades and things that he thinks that are nice about her. But does
Right.
she see his value? Because as soon as other people come into the picture, like Kirsten, she seems to be very willing to ditch him and go with Kirsten or whomever that fits this. And I think she has a physical type. This is the thing I'm getting in my head now with Ashley. She has this physical type that is taller, browner, more athletic than Donald appears to be. And for her, that supersedes anything about niceness, anything about the man loving her or caring about her. She just wants this physical archetype of a man who looks tall, athletic, professional, retired athlete type of look.
But does that give her validation having that?
Validation. Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's challenged within her own self, and maybe somebody else like that gives her reassurance that she's okay. But is she really okay? Even with having that, is she really okay?
Oh wow, that's a good point.
That,
That's a
that
good point.
it happened.
Rock,
It
get on
happened.
in there. What do you
Um,
mean? What happens?
like when a person is a little insecure about themselves. I mean, I saw it on my season with the girl I was dating. Like even when I went to date, on a friend date, when I met her friend was like, "Yo, I think she's great. I wish that she would have saw it." No, it kind of dawned on me that he said that because I was kind of feeling the same way. But she wanted to date like AJ, all these tall guys. The girl's like 5'1".
Oh, okay. Because I was trying to figure out which lady that you dated, but okay, I know.
Oh yeah. So like every guy had to be 6'6". Like I'm 6 foot. She's looking at me like I'm short. You're 5'1". Like you wanted the validation of this tall guy to this to that to say you can do it. You already kind of said like I was the skinny, dark skinned woman. I had to prove myself and things of that nature. But I'm like, no, we think you dope. Like just be you is good enough. Like you don't need extra validation and things of that nature. But once they're on that track, there's nothing you can do. Yeah. They want what they want. They want to be able to show that they can ride out in the sunset with the guy, the tall, dark, the guy that the girls that they thought that she thought it was better than her, had as a validation. There's nothing you can do about that. It's a mental thing. You kind of just gotta like deal with it or leave it alone.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know. Sometimes we get lost and caught up in our old high school ways because that seems to me trivial. And I've talked about this. Women who are 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", little itty bitty fun size women. Okay, and I'm not trying to be derogatory, but you're smaller than somebody like me that's 5'7" or 5'8" or 5'9", and we put on our heels and we're automatically 6 feet with the heels on, right? It just, I never understood why the big push for the guy's got to be 6'2", he's got to be 6'4". Like, what is that about?
I'll tell you what that's about. An element of it is to do with protection, right? They view the taller guy as being the better protector.
Okay.
Now, there is a downside to being with somebody who's that big, because when you have a heated argument, is there a chance that he may be more intimidating because he towers over you like that? So But yeah, it's a status thing. Like,
yeah, that's what
and
it
It's a
is.
obviously,
status. Let's not use the
we
word protector because we from Detroit and we know that the best protector is that 5'8" dude with the gun on the block that was in the DY. Like just because he's 6'6" don't mean nothing. He can't block a bullet. We
No,
from
you sure can.
7 mile, 6 mile. We in the hood. I was never afraid of the big guy. I was afraid of them shooters, and they were short.
Earl Flynn. Okay, we got to keep the VIOLENT talk down a little bit there with the YouTubers. Okay,
yeah,
but okay,
like there
I
are
feel
gentle
you.
giants out there too, though, right? So there
Yeah.
are people who made tower and they're soft as candy floss, like soft as cotton candy. But for the most part, I think it's just a status thing. And remember, these guys are very sought after now. Like you hear some of these preferences, and they all start with he's got to be 6 foot plus. So for someone like Alexis Fly, maybe there is a. Sorry. For somebody like the person that Ron's alluding to, without name dropping, it may be a status thing to bag someone who's so short. She's short and he's tall. It's a status thing. She can bag him because of her demure stature. Like there's something to hold on her arm.
Monique, I didn't know you was a fun-sized woman. I did not know that. Oh, girl. Okay. All right. Go ahead with your bad self. You're right. Now, some taller men do like the little tiny women. Oh, my Lord. But you think it's a protection thing, though, basically, JR. And it's a status thing. I think the status part really stands out to me. I could be wrong, but I think it's more status, though. Because not only to what Ryan was saying about the the pow thing, right? But I think that there are a lot of men that I've met over the years that are short in stature, but as far as like physically fighting or physical strength, they are just as strong as any man that's 6 inches, 7 inches, 8 inches taller. Just as strong.
Well,
look at Jay Prince in Houston. Like he's a tiny man, and everybody's afraid of Jay Prince. You know what I mean? It's like one of those type of things. So like. It's not a size situation. It's a stature thing. It's like every girl wants a tall man. You were the short girl, and you were able to get one, so you feel validation.
Oh,
validation
for that. Okay, and D just put in the chat. That's a good point, D. We've heard our whole life as women growing up as little girls. We've always heard that stereotype: tall, dark, and handsome. And I think a lot of people get stuck on whether it's the tall part, the dark part, or the handsome part, and just totally let it override. Is this person even a good person for you? Is this man, is he even a good man? Does he care about you? Does he like you the way you're liking him because he's tall, dark, and handsome? Oh, Lord. Roro, what are you saying? He's got to be at least 6'3", huh? Okay. Mimi says, Alexa, play. You can't hear. You guys crack me up. So moving right along. So we get all of that from Ashley and Don, and we move forward. We see Sharice in the next scene. She gets a call from Tamika about she's going to have 2 new blind dates. And hopefully things will work out because Sharice is kind of lamenting at this point that everybody has a keeper except for her. Any thoughts about Sharice not having a keeper, Sean?
Well,
Sean?
I mean, she has unrealistic expectations to me. The reason why she doesn't have a keeper. Nevertheless, from what I'm seeing, I don't know her personally, like none of us do, but to me, her personality is just like watching paint dry. I mean, so I see why she doesn't have a keeper.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, so what I'm hearing you saying is between those
This
two
is
things
that
that
IMO.
Yeah, right. IMO. But like you said, I think what I heard you saying, just to summarize, you're saying that she is very picky, maybe the pickiest out of all 4 of these ladies, and also that she doesn't have a lot of conversation or personality, huh?
Nah.
JR, you laughing? Are you smiling? What did you want to add something to Sharice's situation? Why you feel like she's in this situation right now? Should she have
Sean said
kept
it
Maurice?
right. Sean said it right. Listen, I think she does have a very difficult time because the unicorn or Mr. Perfect that she's looking for, she hasn't come close to finding it. And I think she's eliminating guys on very superficial reasons, but you know, she just hasn't met someone that she's attracted to enough. But I also agree with the personality part, because I think part of the reason why she wants these men to open up so much is because she's very limited in her conversation skills herself. So again, there's a little bit of overcompensation. She wants to hear more from what they're doing. And also, I think she's the type of person to pretty much use what you do say against you. So the more she finds out, the more she fleshes out from you. You know, she wants you to keep talking. And then that just gives her a database of information to know about you, but also use against you at some point. Or tick you off her checklist, like tick you off one by one. You say all these different things. If they don't align with what she's thinking or what she wants, then she's ticking that, putting a line through that and crossing you off the list.
Yeah, that's a good point. Roro says that Sharice needs to loosen up a bit.
Impossible. She does yoga and she's still uptight.
But emotionally, she's uptight. When you want something from somebody else, what is it that you bring to the table as well? You have to always consider, if not so much them, as you as well. Because that's all. If you're at a certain stage of your life, if you have not achieved basic things, look at yourself. Don't always look at somebody else. Look at yourself. If you're not where you are within your career, within your job, within your life, start looking at you, because that's all. It's you that's attracting the very things that you're not attracting what you're getting. Or you're getting something because of what you're producing, that you're exuding within yourself. When you more comfortable with yourself, you move with it's a different vibration and frequency that you have. You're not all insecure or question yourself, because you move based on what you feel comfortable about yourself. When you feel good, you move accordingly. She's not in a good place right now within herself, because in this setting right here, you have not found a good pick. And then even now in this segment, you still indecisive about what you want out of guys, but what you want out of yourself. You wanted Nick or Will, and you chose one and you dismissed the other. But then why did you not commit to Will when you chose Nick? It's one of the guys you felt more comfortable with, but you risking it to go with somebody else. Be aware of how you operate out here when you're dating, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point. It's like keep picking the same type over and over again.
And expecting something different.
Expecting a different result. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you know, the lawyer guy, Maurice, he was different to any of the other dudes that she's encountered so far. And could probably meet her requirements financially, and has that stability. But again, he comes with kids from a previous marriage, and he's not much of a talker. He's more of an eater than a talker, right?
Yeah.
So she wasn't feeling that either. And then the guy that has the most outgoing personality, I can't remember his name, but he had so many different things that he did. Like he had a restaurant, he was a DJ, he was all these different things.
Okay.
You know, like she's gonna be hard pressed to find someone that ticks all of those boxes. So, but the thing is, if that's what she's, you know, if that's her standards, she has to stick to them. And if she ends up choosing herself at the end, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
You think that why am I looking at LMV about to say you think LMV? You think Sharice might end up picking herself at the end?
Yeah, like it seems like they're recycling the guys,
right?
Instead of just completely dismissing them, they're bringing them back a week or two later. So
because you may have felt like you overlooked something, but they're searching for something in the guys without realizing What is it about you that's making it complicated? You know, like you say, you're recycling. You're going back to somebody that you dismissed, and you find it more appealing because you're sifting through everything, and it still come back to your decision making. Um, it's interesting because you can always find something you like and don't like about a person, and it's going to show up some kind of way at some point in time. But just because you don't like certain things, I don't know, you just have to be willing to deal with a person and see how it goes instead of picking everything apart right away. Be more in tune with how you are too. You know, it goes back to, it's not just him, it's you too.
Yeah, you bring up an excellent point that a lot of Sean, you might want to mute your mic. You bring up an excellent point that a lot of things that we're going through in our life, whether it's in the dating forefront or whether it's in our professional lives, our careers, our jobs, a lot of what's going on is due to choices that we're making and things that we're doing, and we're not really honing in on what we're doing, but instead we are pointing the fingers outward at everybody else. That is so true, Calvin. So
and we
true.
may not be conscious of that at times, but we start
Right.
taking more time out to get to know who you are. You pay attention to how you think and how you move and what frequency you're on, and be honest with yourself. Because after all, everything that's going on is always you, the common denominator for everything that's going on around you in your life, in your family, whatever's going on. Look at the role that you play too. Don't just look at everybody else being out of order, because we all affect everybody that we come in contact with, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. Well, thank you for that, Calvin. I'm doing some things in my life that just looking forward to the new year, and you have brought up some excellent points for me to really hone in on. Zadia, we got the next thing. We got Zadia is visiting Cameron's house for the first time, and production, they a little messy behinds. You hear someone off camera saying, is this your first time really visiting his home?
Sure.
I'm not going to even take a vote of how many people believe this is the first time, but if you're in the chat, you can go ahead and say yay or nay. Yay, you think this is her first time, or nay, this ain't hardly her first time. She's been talking to Cameron for what, a whole month, and she's been there for a whole month. This is probably, maybe, allegedly not her first time. What do you think, JR?
Man, I think as soon as she stepped in the house, the Bluetooth connected to her phone.
Hey, good point.
The Wi-Fi password,
yeah,
everything,
the Wi-Fi,
right?
Good point.
Bluetooth, all that, yeah. Like she's been there. You know, it probably looks a bit tidier than when she was there last, you know. But you know, I found it interesting because the first thing she did was, you know, critique the place. And I would have thought that, you know, she was saying, yeah, it needs a woman's touch and this, that, the other. You know, I would have thought that would have been something that she could provide in that instance, you know. But again, he's got his bachelor pad and he's looking to move to a bigger place, but he's looking to move somewhere locally. Like he's not moving to DC where she's from, and she keeps trying to get him on that. But on first impression, it looked like she wasn't too impressed with his living arrangements, but it wasn't enough to dampen the mood of the date. Like she was still, she's still very much into him, and he's very much into her as well. But they're moving at different. They're not aligned on where they want to be. You know, she keeps trying to push this narrative about, you know, he's not being open-minded enough to move to DC. That's not the premise of the show.
Right. Thank you. Somebody finally said it. Yes.
Right. So if he's saying, look, I plan to get a bigger place. This is just where I do my operations now. I come home, I rest, I wake up, go to work. This is what I'm doing now, but I want to move to a bigger place. I would have thought that the natural thing to do would be like to say, okay, well, we can get a place together. Like we're feeling each other. If I move to New Orleans, like we can
Yeah.
get a place together, and that can be our little love shack.
I look at JR. He's just okay. You get into this love shack thing, huh?
Yeah.
All right. All right, yeah, yeah. You know what? Yeah, because she says in her confessional about his place, going back to what something you said about his place, she doesn't seem, she says in the confessional, hey, it's a typical bachelor's pad. Now which one of us ladies have not been to a guy's home, whether it be a house or an apartment, and it's just typical with the brown sofa, the black sofa, the black leather, the black pleather, the brown pleather. And it's just a dude, like chances are you might even trip over his dumbbells somewhere in the house, right? Because he didn't tuck them away. So I get what she's saying in that regard, but the thing that she says in the confessional too is that she can add her woman's touch to it. I think I would have liked for her to have discussed that with him. What does anybody else see that maybe she could have discussed, like to JR's point, like we can get a love shack together. We could do this thing and it wouldn't be so much pressure on you anymore. And actually, to your point, JR, I'm thinking about it. They could maybe even lease out his place, right?
Exactly.
For some
But
added
is
income.
she based out of DC? Is she going back there, or she's
Yeah.
relocating to New Orleans?
Well,
Because the issues keep coming up about a long distance relationship, or was that the discussion about a long distance relationship? Is they receptive to that?
Instead of
that
being
can make it
together,
that can make it
exactly.
complicated. That can make it complicated, because you're trying to maintain a relationship with somebody a long distance. That can be extremely complicated because you're not really. Can you deal with that?
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. Sean, what were your thoughts? What are your thoughts
Yes.
about the situation? Go ahead.
Yeah. Somebody said something.
I see how she likes to take control. She wanted to change immediately. She wanted to change his apartment around, say maybe it could use some plants and stuff. Maybe the man don't want plants. Number two, when production asked her, was it her first time there? I don't think it was her first time there. Number one, the dog that he has is a pit bull. I don't think the pit bull will be too friendly to a stranger coming in, per se. It's just this new dog. I mean, she just went to pet the dog, like she had been knowing the dog. Not saying that she has no fear of dogs or nothing like that, but I mean, I can understand if it was a Chihuahua or something, but a pit bull, just hey. Dog say, hey, wait, welcome back. But I mean, I think it looked like a little neat bachelor pad. He's like about the most neatest man I've seen on TV. I mean, things weren't out of place or anything, but looked like a nice little home for himself.
Some of the ladies in the chat are saying he could have lit a candle or two if he was trying
But
to
that's the
impress
woman's
her.
perspective critiquing
For
it.
what?
It's a bachelor's pad, but
what?
I mean, it's a bachelor's pad. Let's spruce this up and make it something a woman's touch. That's what she said. She said the same thing.
Make it a little bit more feminine.
Yeah. Balance it out. Balance it out. Balance it out. Balance it out.
Balance it out.
If we're two people here, we need to make it look like it's not just it's our spot, not just your spot. That's what they're saying. Put a flower over there. Put pictures on the wall.
You do that when you move in.
Yeah, but maybe that's where she's moving. That's
okay.
She getting territorial, I guess. I don't know.
Guys, go ahead, JR, because I got a question to ask this.
I was gonna say, listen, if she had went to his house and he had candles and potpourri and
okay, all right,
she would have, everybody would have been like, this guy's zesty and fruity and whatever.
Oh, he already got a woman.
Exactly.
Right,
yeah,
that's what I was thinking,
Calvin.
Exactly. Wait a minute. I'm thinking she's gonna say, "Wait a minute, you got candles?" Okay, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you got a woman living here.
Yeah, I think it's the first time she's seen the house in daylight.
Okay.
Ring of truth. Okay, guys, this is the question that I want to go back to, and this is not related to just them, but the other guys in the that we saw their homes. What do you guys think about? Okay, it's me here. What do you think about the homes look like they were in the hood? Is this a thing or not? Because personally, I felt like these were probably all Airbnbs. That's my honest to God take on it. They found homes that were accessible, that people were willing to rent out. And yeah, so you got as my cousins down in Houston, Texas say, the burglar bars. When you pass by and you see everybody in the hood, it's got the burglar bars, like you're probably in a high crime rate neighborhood type of situation. But it is what it is. This is real talk, real lives, and everybody does not live in the suburbs in a home where they don't have to put burglar bars up, right? What did you guys think, though? Sean, let me go to you, Sean, because you probably seen some burglar bars in that Dallas Fort Worth area, right?
No, I haven't seen any here. Actually, I saw my first time seeing burglar bars when I was living in Birmingham, Alabama. I said, "What in the world?
Okay.
Everybody got a burglar bar? Like what? They even got it around the daggone the air conditioning unit. They even got to have it around the air conditioning unit. People still in the air conditioning units. I said, wow.
That's when you know. That's when you know. You say, like, okay, let me clutch my pearls. Let me hang on to my purse and my wallet, and let me look around me and keep my head on swivel. What about you, JR? Do they have anything called burglar bars?
Down in the fifth ward.
Yeah, in the ward. Yep. JR, do they have burglar bars in the UK?
No. We don't have that. The crime rate's not that bad where houses just need to have that and shops need to have that type of stuff. No. But I think, it can be a bit judgmental if you're expecting someone to live in a certain area. Maybe he lives in an affordable part, which is where there is a bit more crime or it is a bit more hood, but he's trying to move out of there anyway. He's been living there trying to build his base, do his business. You have to start somewhere, and he's open to getting a bigger place, moving to a different place when he's ready, and that's what he's been working towards. So it may just be below Zadia's standard, but if she lives in DC, I'm quite sure she's used to seeing burglar bars, because I've heard the DMV DC area is quite tough too, quite rough.
You got the ghetto right around the corner from the White House when I went to, so that was no major thing.
That is true. I don't know. Like I'm kind of with
right in Southeast DC.
I'm kind of with Ellen here when she says that all these homes were Airbnbs, because that's what I thought too. I don't think anybody went to anybody's home, their real life home, apartment, or house. I think that these were all Airbnbs that production was able to rustle up and say, hey, let's show this living room and dining room and pretend like it's this one's or that one's or whatever. And especially with Tabari, because the word on the street is that Tabari is from a very affluent family. So I didn't get the feeling at all that his house was really his house. High Vibe is agreeing with me on that. I mean, I don't know. These are just educated guesses or gut feelings, but what do you think?
I know.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Ron. You joined us back in. Go ahead.
Oh no, I mean the way it was filmed, like they couldn't if like Louisiana and that kind of area, all these guys are not from the actual New Orleans metropolitan area. Yeah, these people got to be around the other area. They didn't find this many quality men in that one in New Orleans City. It don't work that way. They had to go probably out to Baton Rouge, Park to Lafayette, or this and that.
But then back to what was said earlier, if that is his baseline, and that's where he is today, that don't mean that he has to always be on that show, because that can change. If you're willing to invest in one another, you can go from a molehill to a mountain, based upon you working together as a team. as a picture they posted up on Facebook with Obama and
Michelle.
Barack and Michelle and the children, and there was
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
They was in there. They was in the living room. They had the children themselves, and they let just kind of. I don't mean. They was kind of on you know, on the lower strata, so it appeared. But look at what they became. Look what they became. They moved a mountain. They moved something and became a phenomenal power couple. You know, because just because you started there, you have to. What you can become, not just what you are today, but what you can become as a couple that work together. You know, you can create a path that's unprecedented for your whole family if you work together. You know, you have to start at the top. You can start at the bottom and get to the top if you're willing to invest in one another. You know.
Right. Ron, check the chat. Okay. Right. I think to your point, you are absolutely right, Kelvin. Any of us, and the one of the great things about this country, the U.S., is that any one of us can start from wherever we're at, whatever family we were born into, whether we had a silver spoon in our mouth or most of us that did not, and you can come up. You can grow, you can achieve more, you can go to college, you can go to trade school, you can create a business, you can have a talent or skill that is so vibrant that you are in high demand, and you can set your own ticket and your own price. So I think that's a great thing. You're absolutely right. And it's just a fact of life that in some places you do have the like I said, my cousins call them the burglar bars. You do have that, and it's unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. So a lot of people, I guess, in our chat basically said they don't believe that was Zadia's first time there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Cam, okay, wrapping this segment up with this, Cam says that this is a stepping stone property and he has a vision and he's very focused. And this was one of the things that I liked. Now, unlike popular opinion, I really respect the fact that Cameron keeps trying to tell Zadia where he really is with this whole moving thing. Ron, what are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts about the moving and him moving out of the South, and he's telling her that he doesn't want to do this?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, love the girls. I know most of them that's on the show. They're doing their thing. Show's doing well. I think they're doing a great job. I like the men. I hope they recast these men for another episode of Ready to Love, New Orleans. I think the men, they pick good men. I think the men are doing a great job. But the premise of the show, come on now, is ridiculous. Like, ain't nobody, you got women from DC, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, and they're going to move to raggedy New Orleans for somebody that gets met. It's not believable. It ain't going to work. It doesn't work that way. Ain't no man that's from Louisiana moving nowhere. They're comfortable with it in that environment. That's where they want to be. That's what they like. That's where their family's at. And nobody's moving anywhere. If you want to do a moving premise type of show, then you get you some black girls from Iowa, from Ohio, from Indiana, and then you get you some men from Houston, Atlanta, DC, and them women might move just to get out of the Midwest cold Podunk area. But the fact of the matter is, these women are in the top cities in the country for black people. They're not going nowhere. They could find these guys somewhere else. Like, there ain't no shortage for them in DC, Atlanta, and Houston. So, what's the premise of the show? Like, and like I said, it doesn't take away from the show. The show's doing well. The women are doing phenomenal, but it is not making any sense. Like, nobody's moving. At the end of the show, there's going to be zero moves. That's to make the move.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Ron, I got a question for you. What do you think about the women basically now are very outspoken on this show about saying, to your point, that they're not going to move with the men join them in Miami, DC, Houston. I don't know. I feel like that's taken away from the whole premise of the show. What are your thoughts about that?
A woman moves for a man. A man don't move for a woman. That ain't how it works. It's like a man don't move into a woman's house. That ain't how it goes. And when you're moving a woman as a man, if you're moving a woman towards you, do you know the responsibility of that? Like, you're honestly saying, hey, I'm moving this woman away from her friends, her family, her job, or stuff like that. I'm gonna take full responsibility on anything that happens during this move. I'm gonna take her financially, everything else like that, till she gets accumulated to what my plan is. It's crazy. I know guys have done that before and moved women cross country to their city, and they get burnt out because the responsibility of it is just crazy. And they're responsible for the whole thing. Even if they got to bring the girl back, they're responsible for that. And it just doesn't work that way. Like I don't understand it. And like I said, New Orleans out of all places, it's just like nobody wants to move there. Like if you offer me a job, make it double to move to New Orleans tomorrow, and it's only 3.5 hour, 4 hour drive for me, I'll still tell you no. I don't want to go there. So I imagine a woman.
Well, would you be willing to move a woman to Houston then with you if this show, let's say this show comes to Houston next season right now and you're one of the cast members? Because by the way, this was a question we had early on. If you could, when we do the second season of this show, I said, let's do the 4 guys and you were one of the guys that I named. Okay, so would you be willing to bring a woman that you met on the show? Would you be willing to move her to Houston?
I would. But I said that's different. Because one, Houston is, like I said, I'm in a big city, a metropolitan city. A lot of women want to move to Houston anyway. Correct. So yeah, so it's kind of a difference now. You know what I mean? And if she was agreement to say, "Man, I'm trying to get to Houston anyway," but honestly, it wouldn't be right after this show. Like you don't know a person well enough to have them move into your home and everything like that, and take on that responsibility of her making a big move like that. Moving is tough. Moving is, I mean, I've moved more than anybody. So yeah, I understand what that is. So I've always opened up my selection of women to around the country. You know what I mean? You got to be open with that, and that requires you to take the responsibility of moving her to your residence or your place if things get serious. So I've always been open to that concept. But the fact of the matter is, you got to be for sure, because if it doesn't work out as a man, you are now responsible. You can't just say, okay, it didn't work out. You didn't move all your stuff here. Say go. No, you got to pay her rent for 6 months still. You gonna have to get her back or pay her U-Haul, whatever, to get her stuff back. You have to take responsibility of it. You brought her there, so now you're still responsible for her, even if it doesn't work out. At least until she gets on her feet, if you're a real man. And you need to understand that.
You know, in this scene, what do you think, Ron? And I'm going to pass this around to the rest of you guys too. But Ron, you didn't answer my question in the private chat, but that's okay. What do you think about Cam is telling Zadia in this scene that he has a vision for his life? He has a vision of how he wants to set things up. You know, he's a pharmacist. That's his 9 to 5. He also runs a photography studio. He has other people that work for him. He has a business. He's an entrepreneur, which is part of what Zadia liked about him. But she keeps trying to get him to go to DC. And then he's trying to tell her that he has this vision. And isn't that what we women say we want from men? We want you guys to be leaders. We want you guys to have a vision for your life, a vision for where we fit in. Ron, what do you think? Am I missing something here? Like, if
what you're missing is, I know Zadia. I met Zadia. But you know what I mean? So Zadia has a business. Zadia has a business. Yes. Zadia can't move can't move her business. So what do you want? And these are independent women who have been independent and single for a long time. They're in their 40s and stuff like that. Those women they got to really, really, really be into or trust the guy to leave everything they got going on to go follow your dream. Those days are not there no more. My mom did that with my dad. My mom was a head of a bank and stuff like that. She left her job and everything like that to follow my dad's path and his dream. But that was back, 30 years ago. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen like that no more. Those days are over. So my thing is, what do you want Zadia to do? Not what you want him to do. She's like, why would I leave my business?
Well, they both have businesses, but I guess I'm just looking at, like, Zadia claims that she wants this soft life. And if you're going to have a soft life, then that means that that's the guy in charge. You got this, the way I'm looking at it, the way she's setting it up, at least, it seems to me that she's talking about a guy that can afford to take care of himself and her. So How is
And that's true. And I got like prime example. I was talking to a girl. You know what I mean? I can afford to take care of my life and take care of a woman. But the fact of the matter is, that's not the point. She can see that, but she has to trust that you're going to do that. And that's where the trauma with a lot of our females in our community happens. They don't trust black men enough to say, I understand you can do that, but I don't trust that you're going to do that and that's going to last. You know what I mean? So I'm going to hold on to my job. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to hold on to that. And that's the problem. But yes, because of that trauma factor of trust, she ain't getting rid of her stuff for him, or she knows for 100%. And do you know how hard it is for a guy to prove over a shadow of a doubt that he's going to take care of a woman and give her that soft life and things of that nature, and she goes with it? It's very hard, especially to independent women past a certain age.
Okay.
She starts questioning everything. She goes, "Oh, well, you could have been with her. You could have done this. Why me?" And all this stuff comes up, and it's like the guy's like telling her, like, I'm gonna take care of it, but she needs to hear more than that. She needs to see more than that. She needs time. It's crazy to convince a woman that you're gonna take care of everything, and her just go with it. In the black community, we got trauma bonds where they don't let that happen, and that's why those women hold on. They got backup plans and hold on to certain things and things of that nature. But she's not built that way. I know her. She's not built that way.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, but that then begs the question: why come on the show? I mean, unless you want TV time, like you know you got business, you can't move nowhere. You're looking for a guy that's established.
I was heard that they weren't really told that they were supposed to be a super moving show. I think maybe just dating and a long-term date. You know what I mean? I think these guys are very quality guys. I think they did a damn good job. Production did a really good job picking the guys. I'm saying I hope they bring these guys back to a Ready to Love New Orleans and give them a real shot at finding women in their own city to date. I hope they bring the same guys. I think these guys are phenomenal. So I think these women are really like some of these guys, and they're seeing some good catches there and stuff. But location means a lot.
Yeah,
it just does. Yeah, it just does.
I agree with you.
I mean, it means so much that I would have a better chance of relationship with a woman that lived 2 blocks from me than I have with her living like in Katy, 40 minutes away. Like we just gravitate to what's close to us. So location means something during a relationship.
God, I know Katy, Texas. Are you kidding me? You wouldn't date a woman in Katy, Texas? Are you serious? Like it's just.
I tell you what, Houston dating. If you're in the suburbs, I tell women, because these women that come in, they get a good job and they go buy that little suburban house out there by themselves, and I say, yo, that's dating suicide in Houston. I was like, no guy's gonna go out there and visit you out there. Like you need to be in the city with the singles till you find you a man, and then you make him go out there and buy the house. But don't go get that house just to show off in front of your girl and say, oh, I got me a house up in the suburbs and stuff. You're going to be lonely in that house. And all of them end up being lonely in that house because nobody comes out there to visit them. Because we don't like driving a lot in Houston. Nobody wants to go from the inner loop out to Katy. It's a hassle.
What about the Woodlands or Humble, Texas? Anybody going out that way?
You can't do it. We got busy schedules. Traffic's crazy. Like I told you, you got to be able to get some progress in a relationship and that trust factor that he has to earn and stuff like that. Y'all got to spend some time with each other. And I mean 3-4 days a week at least, I feel, if you're going to go towards the path of marriage or progressing to move in with each other, things of that nature. And you can't do it with 2 working people. One lives in the city and one lives in the Woodlands. One lives in the city, one lives in Katy. It ain't gonna work that way. And I think that's the problem, that we got these relationships that are starting off with the guys only seeing the girl once on the weekend or twice on the weekend, and then it ends up fizzling away because there's no momentum going anywhere because you guys are too busy to see each other, too much distance, everything else like that.
Wow.
And you're already established within yourself, so you do have to spend time together. You have to mesh things together instead of everybody have your own little vision and you have your own little agenda that's separate without realizing it's separate. You do have to spend time together. In
the olden days, my dad used to just knock on the door. Like, you date the woman on your block. He go knock on my mama's door 3 doors down. That was your wife.
Like, you just got your mom move for your dad. So wait a minute, she couldn't have lived 3 doors down.
No, but I'm saying like back in the day, like Detroit, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You dated the women on the block, you know what I mean? 8 Mile and the next street over, 2 overs. You see the girl, that was your woman. Like, it wasn't no internet, it wasn't no fly, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you got a chance to spend a lot more time with the people, so those relationships moved a lot quicker.
But you know what?
And
Ryan, come on, but let's be real. Let's really be real and tell the people what it really is. At the end of the day, people have to take a leap of faith, whether it's 40 years ago or whether it's today. At some point, you got to feel like you know this person well enough, and you got to feel like, I'm going to take a leap of faith. And if you're never willing to take a leap of faith, you'll be Mizell.
I believe that, but look at who are getting married. Most people get married from in the workplace because they're spending that much time with each other at work. You know what I mean? Time means something. You got to be able to spend that much time with it. I understand about the leap of faith, but
proximity.
Yeah, proximity means something.
Yeah, it's right.
Mm-hmm.
But proximity also means, I think that if a man wants a woman enough, and that's one of the things I think audience is having a problem with. What is Cameron really saying to Zadia? He keeps saying this over and over again. My time is limited. My time is limited. What to you as a man, Ron, what does that really mean? What is he really trying to say? Because we women, I'm like Zadia. I like, just go ahead and say it and quit, using all the soft talk. Just go ahead and say what you really mean.
He's saying Zadia's too independent for him. Yep. He needs a person there that's going to be his piece, that can help him on his journey. And she got her own journey. She's not the right woman. Right. And it's basically what he's saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm starting some ventures and stuff right now. I have to tell a woman that I'm dating, I ain't got time to really super entertain you and stuff like this. Like, I need you to push me. This is my job that I need you to do. I need you to push me to be the better man that I'm supposed to do. And it's going to be boring, and the relationship's going to be weak, and there's going to be a lot of entertainment for a while. But once I get to my pinnacle where I want to be, you're going to get rewarded. I'm going to feel better. You know what I mean? Like, your job is now to push me. Like, you have to be my pusher, because I don't have time for anything else right now. I'm working on this, I'm working on this, I'm working on that. So I need you to be patient. I need you to be my cheerleader. I need you to be my support group. I need you to be my pusher. And I need you to come with ideas and things of that nature. It can't be about you and what you want right now, because I'm on my mission as a man to be the top man I can. And if I don't succeed at that, I'm never going to be able to be a good man for you, because I'm always going to be thinking about I didn't hit my potential. So, and you can't do that with a woman who's trying to do the same thing. So it's unfortunate, but you needed something different.
At the same time, you're right, because Calvin talked about this when we talk about and when we think about the Obamas.
She put her career on hold.
She did. She put her $350,000 a year job. She put her career on hold so that he could run and be a senator and then become president of the United States. She put all that on hold, and anybody out there is thinking about it, $350,000 plus, and the prestige that she held at, what was it, the university that she was at? I forget which company it was.
She was on track to do very well.
She was already doing well. She was earning over $300,000. I know friends of mine that attended church with the Obamas back before they became the Obamas that we know. She was doing very well, and she put all that aside. So it's no small feat to what Ron is saying, and I think it takes a lot of women to come out of their egos. I think it takes the woman to come out of her ego too. That's part of it.
Or it could be the other way around. Why can't, if the woman is the talent and she's the more, probably I know we're not taught this, and I know we look down on it, but you could be stopping at the next Oprah. If you're a man and you don't recognize that she's got the talent, she's more talented than you, she's the workhorse, and you don't get behind her plan and help her out, maybe she's the one you need to push. It doesn't matter who is at the top. I don't believe. Long y'all couple, y'all married, y'all gonna be together, y'all going for the same legacy, the same plan. She might be the more talented one, and she might enjoy working. So maybe as a man, it's your job to push her stuff, her idea, her business idea, things of that nature. But somebody has to do it. You know what I mean? And
it requires the communication, understanding who you are and who are not, which consists of you spending time together. Before you make that kind of quantum leap, you have to have a relationship that makes it conducive towards that. Because you have to sit down and kind of work on that, work on each other first before you commit to making those kind of changes, because if that person that you feel that affinity for, you be willing to risk certain things, but like you say, it's the trust issues, and the person.
Yeah. Keep on.
There's trust issues that you have to put to the side. Also, you have to pour into one another because you, like you said, she may be the person that can achieve it more easy than you. But that's where the communication, the conversations, the interaction comes in. Because just because you attracted at this moment, you have to build on it. So because you're talking about something sustainable, you have to build on it, which requires a lot of give and take.
Men are open to that. The only thing a man is not going to do, and take notes on this, he is not about to compete. He is not about to compete with you. That is what he don't want. It's the most unattractive thing in the world when a man's peacocking and telling you, like he's this guy, he's telling you about what he got going on and things of that nature. He's proud of it in his work, and then he has to hear what you got going on in competition, coming back to that instead of you saying, "Oh, I can help with this and I can do that." You know what I mean? He's not about to compete with no woman when he's trying to do his thing. It's unattractive. It's really masculine energy back. When I'm telling a woman what I got going on and things of that nature, the last thing I want to hear is what she got going on next. That ain't her time. That ain't her time to tell me that. Don't come in there trying to one up on me or what I got going on. Because the first thing I'm gonna do is be like, that's that's unattractive. That's masculine. Bye.
I get it. And that's kind of where we're hearing the talk in the chat is some of the people are saying that people can't seem to build together anymore. Couples can't seem to build together anymore. But I rebuke that spirit. I rebuke that spirit in Jesus' name. I rebuke that spirit. People can build together, but you're right though. And see, this is the thing where I say all the time that I don't believe in this IG power couple talk. Everybody's talking about we're gonna be a power couple, but how are you gonna be a power couple when you can't even agree to what Ron's saying? Men and women nowadays can't even seem to agree to simple things like which town are we going to live in. We knew that we lived in different towns, different parts of the country. Who's going to move where, and how are we going to implement this, and how are we going to compromise? So I don't understand people talking about they're going to be power couples. That's ridiculous.
But what do you mean by power? A power couple can be just what they said, being a collaboration and working together, not being two strong, bullheaded people going in different directions. You got to concede to the greater game.
Thank you. Exactly what you said.
If we're building a dynasty, we may have to build it brick by brick instead of
brick by
just
brick.
one wall at a time. We have to take our time, and first of all, we have to build the relationship we have with one another. Because a lot of people can be power couples for certain things, but be major and not have that power to have a relationship with one another. And they can create a dynasty, but they're not the couple that they need to be.
Right. And what are we building it on? You gotta
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a foundation, right? You gotta have a foundation.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think we have to really accept the fact that in terms of Camanzadia, like nobody's moving nowhere, right? Like that's how it's looking. And that may be the reason why their connection doesn't go too much further, because ultimately, we know what the premise of the show is, and if she can't move because of her business or whatever, or she's rooted, she's got her career, she's not in a position to. He's in exactly the same position, and in fact, he's got more things going on that keep him. Make it difficult for him to just up and leave. Now, I get that there is a trust factor in your partner and their career path, and his career seems pretty stable. He's a pharmacist and owns a photography business and all these other different things, cryptos and investments and all these other different things he does. And, if she does want a soft life, which I don't think she does, because she doesn't seem like the type of person that will not work and do the things she does. I just don't see either of them moving. And I don't think it's necessarily to do with trust, because he's got stability. He's got a career that earns a lot of money too.
Yes.
So it's not like it was it's not like this guy's looking for work and out of work and all these things. No, he's educated. He's been in his field for quite a long time. He's a go-getter. He doesn't strike me as someone who's going to sit back and be complacent from what I've seen. So I think it's just a power struggle. I think this is a case of not even just the ego part, but Zadia knows her worth and the career and the time she's put into it. And she doesn't want to jeopardize that for the sake of a relationship. And that's fine. But you need to find someone in DC then.
Right.
Exactly.
That's
the answer. You need to go back to Ready to Love DC and see if there's someone there.
Right.
Yeah, I believe in the power couple thing. Like here's the thing with the power couple. You have to be able to use the other person's power in order for it to make sense. So prime example, like when I was when I was on the show and I'm dating Alexis Fly, right?
Yes. Right.
Uh-oh.
Right. We
Someone's
can't hear
ears
you.
was burning. Cut the input.
Not tear it up, is it?
You put that voodoo on your mic. Go ahead.
No, she got a battery in her back. That's a worker. Like if she was in different doors than where I was at and things, it made sense to me as a man to pursue that as a power couple, because it was total opposite. What she did well was the stuff I didn't necessarily do well. The stuff I did well was the stuff she didn't do well, and it worked that way. So if you can use what the other person has, y'all can grow real fast on the surface. The girl is highly talented at what she does. You can ask Benicia and things of that nature. She got people in the doors, and she knows that aspect of it. I'm more in the business side, the finance side. I know that aspect of it. So if you see a talent in somebody and you can work with them, that's the essence of a power couple. But if y'all both doing the same thing and the same mission and stuff, it doesn't work that way. It clashes. So the goals got to be intertwined and similar for power couples. Like I said, Michelle Obama wants to be president. Michelle's like, okay, I do stuff different. Let's work together and build it that way. But you can't, like I said, I feel it in Zadia's situation. They both want to be entrepreneurs. They both want to run their business. They both kind of got, the same priorities. They're going in the same direction. They ain't gonna work. Now, it'd be different if he works in pharmacy and she did public relations. You know what I mean? And she could help his business out in a certain way. And he's like, okay, let's just get together and work together on this. And then maybe we can start off long distance, and then maybe you can move in. You know, it has to make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. But I was looking at it like with him being in pharmacy, or even with his photography business, he's got a great plug to plug her business, that she's a trainer and she does makeup. She could do makeup for the women that come in to be shot by him, to do the photo shoots and whatnot. So they really could boost each other's business. But again, you have to be willing to take that leap of faith. And if you're not willing to leave DC, then why are we even doing this thing? Why are we even here in New Orleans?
And you also have to have that mindset. Like the power couple mindset would be exactly that. Like he's in photography. She's a personal trainer. She could be like, you know what? I could train your models for their shows. Or, you could take pictures of the hairstyles that I wear, or my fashion, or whatever. You can intertwine, you can immediately link up with each other and start building together in certain ways, career-wise, and see how that goes. See if that doesn't bring you closer to someone moving and relocating, because now you've got another revenue stream that both of you can probably combine and make some money from, right? But it's a mindset thing. If they're not thinking about that already, like initially, that should be a conversation. Wow, you do photography. Well, I'm in fitness. So, you know, I do photo shoots. So I've got my own brand and I need a photographer. Instead of outsourcing, we can collaborate. Right. And we can both use our socials and we can, you know, get followers and subscribers. And, you know, you can open up a whole nother revenue stream, but they're not, that mindset isn't there because it's all about, I want him to move to where I am to show how much he wants to be with me. And then he's like, well, I came on the show, you know, I'm a busy man. I've got loads of things going on, but I'm looking for love. So he's looking for someone that kind of fits on his program rather than him having to cut things out that he's doing and jump onto her program.
But if the man's vision wins. So he has to be able to see the vision within her that, oh, okay, I can use her fitness thing. I can do this and that. He doesn't have a vision for her yet. He has a vision for himself.
Yeah.
And
but when you're high achievers, you can always use that creativity and energy in a more comprehensive way that benefits one another and have a collaboration, because you may come with a venture that can both benefit each other. You just have to be open-minded, you know? You can't be so rigid. Not for the work. If you have all that energy and creativity, you have to sit down and map out a game plan so it can work. If you want it to work, you know. You already have the mind. You already have a high energy level, and you're creative. Learn to use it to your advantage. You know, you have to be working against one another, work with one another. You know.
I got one other thought, and you guys tell me what you think. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, you know, let's not forget that Cameron is also a transplant to New Orleans. You know, so I mean, and I guess, and so he's an outsider coming in as well. So, I mean, I go back to what Ron said earlier, because he said the same thing he said on my Facebook post when I said, well, "What's the premise of this? Is it the premise that the men are trying to get the women to move to New Orleans?" And he said the same thing about women from Ohio and all the other cornfields and places like that moving, you know, get those women, what have you. But anyway, but I think that it has to be a collaboration. But Zadia, what do you bring to my vision? What is your vision? And then I'll share with you what's my vision and how can we make it our vision together if we're going to make it work, per se. It is risky for somebody to have to up and move. And I'm not being chauvinistic. Sometimes women can't pivot like that, like a man can, per se, because you know sometimes women have attachments because they have roots and support systems in their places of their location where they live, and so I'm not just going to uproot myself and go to a new strange place that I have to now fit in and reestablish clientele, or I might be good at what I do, but nobody knows me here.
Right. That's true.
Whereas Cameron, we don't know how long he's been there in New Orleans, what have you. I don't know how long he's been in New Orleans, what have you. And then, of course, the other thing is, I was just thinking, I mean, I hope my mind didn't go left. We don't know what kind of photographer he is. I don't know what he takes photography of. I don't know what he takes pictures of. I don't know. What his headshots, what? I don't know. I ain't trying to speculate. I don't know.
You know.
Wow,
you're going left
there. You're going left there. You're going left.
Know.
Circle back. Come back around. But guys, tell me this. So I asked Ron this, and I said I was going to get someone to ask. Make sure you all ask. So Sean, I want to ask you this. What does Cameron mean when he keeps telling Zadia, I have limited time? What is he saying? What do you feel he's saying?
I would like to think that he's saying that he's committed to his customers, committed to
what's he saying to her? Skip all that. We got to cut to the chase here. What is he saying to her? What is he saying to her? What is he trying to tell her? Because it's
it could be like the Steve Harvey thing. He could have gotten a cookie and now he's disinterested. I don't know.
Ooh. Okay. All right. We're gonna put a pin in
could
that.
very well be it. Yeah. So
Jr. Thank you, Jr. What do you think? What is he really saying to her? Because he keeps talking about he has limited time. Now all of a sudden he has limited time. He didn't have limited time on that first date when they stayed out to the wee hours of the morning, and she did that walk of shame back into the house. But now all of a
Yeah.
sudden he has limited time. So what does this mean? What does this mean
brand new
as a man?
time. Yeah.
What are you hearing?
I think that what that means is just like he wasn't able to show up for her birthday as early as she probably wanted him to, but he made a late appearance. He's busy. He's got other things going on that demand his time, and he hasn't got the time to. Similar to what Venetia was saying with Jabari, you know. Right now, his lifestyle is work, 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 work. And sometimes that means late finishes. So he ain't going to have the time to be spending hours with her, as often as she might like. So he's putting out that disclaimer now so there isn't hurt feelings or feelings of neglect when he's out doing his work.
Kelvin, you're last, but certainly not least.
Okay.
What does that man mean when he keeps telling this woman that he has limited time? What does that feel like to you?
For him, he's relatively young, and he's ambitious and driven, but he knows he needs somebody by his side, and maybe it makes him feel uncomfortable because he wants to have a kind of relationship with her, but the demands of his the energy that goes to his vision takes up a lot of his time, and maybe puts him in a conflictful position because he's trying to accommodate his vision and her at the same time. Because it takes a lot for what he's doing. If you have all these irons in the fire, that's a lot of energy that he has to spend. So being there with her and giving her attention that's needed for the relationship, he may not be able to give it to her like that, but he wants to, but he's not. But then his job, when you are a high achiever, your energy goes into you, so you try to accomplish and move mountains, and then your woman needs you by her side. So, maybe he's faced that position before. The demands of relationship was the demands of a career. So he's in a conflictual role. He wants her, but not at the expense of his career.
No.
Maybe definitely. That's what it is. I'm just saying that's what it appears, because he does seem to be genuinely interested in her, because he did come back to put things in perspective instead of just saying, well, I got things to get back with you. She is a priority too. She's a priority for him too. And she wants him, but she's a priority as well. Because after all, you get to the top and you're by yourself, what good does that do,
I don't know. We could ask Mizell about that, though. He would probably be able to tell us. But moving forward, that's a very good point. I agree with you, though. Actually, I think I hold an unpopular opinion from a lot of reviewers of this show. I think that Cameron, to what JR is saying, I think Cameron does have feelings for Zadia, but he's definitely saying that his career is very important to him, and that everything there has to be some harmony. There has to be some balance between Zadia, the love of, your love life, your professional life, your personal life. And then I'm thinking that being on this show, Ryan, you could probably speak to this. Being on this show, they're probably filming for 6, 7, 8 hours at a time. And he's probably saying, I really didn't think that this was going to be this way. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's definitely feeling that way right now. Like I said, I was going on 3 hours of sleep, and he has all that going on. And I think they kind of said that on the episode or stuff like that, where she was like, I get it. And I feel like the men you have to do a lot more work because they're coming in. The women are just at the house. They're chilling. You know what I mean? They're coming in and erupting their schedule. They've got to work and stuff like that. These women are basically on vacation for a month. Yeah, the guy, he still got to go to work. He still got to take care of you got kids. You got to do that. Everything is right there. So, yeah, he's stressed already during the process because it is very stressful and strenuous. And on top of trying to figure it out, and on top of the emotional roller coaster that they put you on too. So I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah. And Ron, I don't know Zadia, you, like you said, you've met her. I don't know how well you know her, but I also feel, I'm going to say this as a woman, I feel like part of the thing that he may be struggling with is we've seen Zadia before, and Zadia is very pushy. Zadia can be very assertive. Zadia also always, to me, and this hasn't changed, she always seems to be very self-focused. So I think that part of what Cameron may be observing is those traits and wondering how that would fit in on a day-to-day in real life, not just on her vacation scenario here in New Orleans, but if she were to actually live there, if they could actually come to an agreement about where to live, um, you know, could he handle her? Is she a good fit for him?
She's hard. You're right. All the things you named about her are kind of spot on in real life. And she's a hard person to handle because she's the type of person that if you're looking for the softer side, you're looking for a person that's understanding, ain't gonna hold grudges if you make mistakes and things of that nature. She ain't the one. She ain't playing.
She will,
Yeah,
she will push his forehead in like nobody's business. She not playing. Ask Dante. Ask Dante.
yeah. I don't know about that, but I know it's like just her demeanor in real life. She ain't playing, and you don't know with you in those situations, dude. That woman needs a guy that's so soft, a little softer that makes her softer, or that girl just needs a straight, a gorilla alpha male that can say, I don't care how assertive you are, I'm more, and you're gonna do it this way. You know what I mean? Like I haven't figured out that equation yet for those type of women who are that assertive and that focused on. I try to make friends with them. I don't get into no romantic situation with it because I know I need my woman more softer.
Right, you want a softer woman, right? Like I want a more assertive man, and I'm gonna be that soft baby doll for him. And I got no problem, baby. Like, I'm soft. I'm right here in the crook of your arm. Yes, baby. What you need, baby? Need me to fix you some grits? Okay, whatever. But getting back to Zadia though, yeah, because we saw her on her season of Ready to Love. We saw her end up with Naeem, and Naeem is, well, he appeared on camera. He appeared very soft to us. She had him wrapped around the crook of her little baby finger.
But that's
what she needs.
Right, but that's probably why the relationship worked, because Naeem was doting on her. Like the way he was supporting some of her more problematic behavior. It's okay if she does it to you, but she ain't doing it to me.
But
he
how
was
long
kind of
did it
smitten by
last
her,
back
right?
On the show?
And I think Cameron is.
One at a time. Go ahead,
I think
Jay.
Cameron is saying, look, like I'm not gonna be able to dote on you as much as you may be expecting. I got a career, I got work, I got many things going on. So I'm telling you right now, I'm a busy man. If we do spend time together, make sure it's quality time and we're going to enjoy ourselves, but it's going to be limited time. It's not going to be this, I can just drop things for you and, you need me to be somewhere and I've got prior engagements at work. That's not going to work. That's not going to run. So I think he's being honest, he's being upfront, and he's letting her know early. If he had led her on like into a relationship, full relationship, then he dropped this on her, then I can see it being a problem. But the fact that he's letting her know now, before she has to make a choice,
I respect him.
I respect him for it. Because he's also said, look, if it means you go in a different direction, that's fine. Don't let me hold you up. Like I'm telling you that this is what it is, and if you choose to stay, I appreciate it. But if you feel like you can't get with that, then I know you've been going on dates already with other guys. You've made connections. Go and do that if that's better for you.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Somebody pointed out before we move on, last thing, somebody in the audience in the chat pointed out a very good point. If you notice that when Zadia came into the pad that she claimed she had never been to before, the dog seemed very familiar with her. He didn't even bark.
Exactly. It remembers her perfume. That's why from the night before.
I did. I did.
Oh, you noticed that? You noticed it too?
Remember, it's her voice.
Oh wow, yeah. So like Zadia been over.
Yeah, I said that. I noticed that. I said that the dog. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I didn't really notice that at
first. That was the night they were walking the whole night.
That's a very good point. But moving on to thank you guys for all of that.
They were walking the whole night.
Oh, okay. We're gonna move on to Sharice now. This part of the episode, Sharice meets the handsome, tall Nick, who has the high top fade, and once again, looks like a former athlete. That seems to be her type. Her and Ashley, they got this type going. She thinks that Nick is eye candy, and then she meets Will, who's very good-hearted, nice guy, has a young child. He works for a nonprofit. What did you guys think about the two blind dates that Sharice had with this? What do you guys think?
Well, apparently she knew Nick from before, right? Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Because they had eye contact in the previous
saw each
time.
other at
They
a
met
mixer.
before.
Oh,
They met before. Didn't they?
Oh yeah, no, they had seen each other before when
And they
they
made
he was
eye
at the 25 guys.
Yeah.
right.
They
They
made
had seen
eye,
each other at
yeah.
the
They made
first go
eye
round.
contact, and they
Mhm.
they went back to that point. But the thing about it is that she chose Nick. She was kind of leaning towards Will, but she chose Nick instead because let's see, she said something about him that Nick was a
Well,
bad
we
cat.
haven't got to that part yet.
Okay, sorry. Forgive
We
me.
haven't got to that part yet. But what did you just think about the dates in general, though? Did you feel like the conversation was good with Sharice and Nick, or Sharice and Will?
Well,
I
she was
think
saying the
the one
conversation
guy,
was better with Will. With Will, they had a better conversation.
right? Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But we find out later, to your point, she's not going to pick this gentleman, so that's very
right.
interesting. Yeah. Anyone else want to jump in about Sharice and Nick and Will?
I just think she's,
Well, I think
she's the only one that doesn't have a connection. So she made an attempt to try and strike something up very quickly with one of these guys, and at this point, if they look physically attractive, then that's what it's going to take for now. And then as they get into conversation, it's probably going to be the same old thing.
Yeah.
I need you to open up more. You're not opening up enough. So the dates, I think she put her best foot forward, and she doesn't want to be the one that's left out.
That's
Everyone
right.
else needs to have somebody.
JR, did you notice that she hugged both of the guys during the date?
Right, and she didn't want some guys to touch her, but maybe those were the guys that had BO and were stank, like what Venetia said in her interview, right?
Yeah, that interview, that set the internet on fire right there. Yeah, Venetia giving.
Oh, she said when somebody was in the shower.
Yeah, she said. She said some of the guys stink. Like they.
Yeah.
Well, I was in New Orleans at the same time they were filming this thing. It was literally 120 degrees everywhere you walk. So it could have been a heat situation.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
I thought it was in summer, so BO and sweat and things like that.
Smell like the outside.
Yeah.
But
the thing is,
also a good hot shower wouldn't have cured. But go ahead.
First impressions last. So if you meet someone and you're sweaty, smelly, grimy, that's the lingering impression you've given, right? So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. And I think it's Sharice's point. Sharice needs to find. I think she needs to be the prize in the relationship looks wise. So I think she needs a guy a little older. Not her looking for the eye candy. It ain't gonna work. Her validation needs to still feel like the guy's looking at her like a person would look at 34-year-old Sharice. You know what I mean? Like she has to be the prize looks wise, and that guy's willing to do the extra to impress her because of that. And that's where he could get up to her standards, things of that nature, and the stuff that she's asking for. But there's no way in the world that you're going to be going for good looking, it ain't going to work. You're going to have to find somebody who's looking at you like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. I'll do anything to get with her. Yeah. And he would get more close to her demands that she's looking for.
Yeah, but she's not going to get that. The personality doesn't have that type of appeal.
If a man's really attracted to a woman, though, they'll deal with it. I've seen it.
Yeah, I get that, but yeah, not in this case. Not in this case. No,
I thought her perfect match was Zoe back in her season of the show.
Oh God! Ron, hang up now.
No, it was. It really was. On paper, it was. Like
on paper it works.
But they didn't like each other in real life. like.
Yeah.
We didn't like
because
each
she
other.
was playing in that grown man's face, but she didn't understand that, that's the guy you look for. He's a little older. He got bread. He could take you to all those nice little events and stuff that you want to go to. He's probably, looking to settle down with somebody boy your age and everything like that. That was the guy she was supposed to show the interest into. But when it was time to show
You know
interest,
what? Okay, Ryan. This is where I gotta take up for my girl Sharice and all the women in Miami. If you meet Zoe and Zoe is trying to tell a woman that we engaged, and then he takes back the ring the next day, like, come on now, Mister, come on. Zoe is for the streets. Zoe is the Miami version of Mizell. Okay, Zoe is for the streets. Let's be real.
I agree with that part too. But eventually, Zoe understands that every man understands that the streets don't last forever. So I'm talking about it'll take a special woman to see like, okay, I can slow that man down, or I could do this. I gotta show him a little attention. I might have to beat up to his ego a little bit. I might have to take a little of this. But once I settle him down and everything like that, I could make a husband out of that type of guy. Mysel's a little different because Mysel's the older, pretty boy. Like, he don't got no problem pulling no women. Probably never had a problem pulling women. And
he is nice. He's handsome.
Yeah, he's a pretty boy. Even at 55.
Though, if women that have like me that have discernment, you can see him coming from a mile away because he's got that W right on his forehead. So it don't really matter about the handsomeness. Once you read men and you see that W on their forehead, automatically.
What's the W? What's the W stand for?
Womanizer.
Winner.
Well, that's the nice version of it. I can't say the actual word. I can't say the actual word here on the show, but think of a garden tool. Yeah, right. think of a garden tool, okay? And then think of
why are you penalizing him for being? I think he's very articulate. The good-looking dude.
Look. Wait a minute. Women and men have got to be able to see facts, right? You can see a beautiful woman, and you can say, I'm not going to make her my wife. I'm not going to make her the mother of my children because she has a W on her forehead, theoretically, right? I'm just saying, as a woman, we have to have discernment, Ryan. You can't walk around your whole life falling for a bunch of guys that have W's on their forehead. Because why? Because that's when you end up 60 years old, no husband, no children in sight, because you wasted 3 years over here with this W, 4 years over here with that W. Come on now.
Is it really such thing as a 58-year-old, 60-year-old W though? Like, this guy's grown and old. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you
must not have heard what happened between Mizell and Vern and Sharice. Are you not watching this show?
No, I catch in a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you and say that I watched every episode. I saw that. I thought that was blown totally out of proportion. I thought it was. I thought he saw a softer side of Benicia because Benicia cool. That's my sister. I love Benicia.
I like Benicia. Hold, put a pin in it because we're coming to that. We're coming to that. Let's get through some of this other stuff. Can you stick around for a minute? We're coming to that because I do want to get your impressions and your opinions on that. Okay. To that specific thing, but hold on, we're at okay. So we talked about Sharice, yeah. We talked
but
about
then Sharice is so unsure of herself, though. She's unsure of herself because she's still she's falling short. It's not them, it's her, because she's insecure about herself, and she's scrambling trying to get somebody now, but she keep losing out because there's something about her that's flawed that she needs to address.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. It's not the man, it's her. It's her as well. Even though it could be the man, she has to work on herself,
Sharice strikes me, and I know this would probably be for some people an unpopular opinion. Sharice is one of my favorites, to be honest. And the reason why is because I see the fear in Sharice.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't see it. She comes across, she's very hard-nosed, very hard-edged to the men. But Sharice is very fearful, too.
Mm-hmm.
She is very
commitments or
I think she's been hurt. I think she's been hurt a lot. Like, we talk about Ashley and we talk about how Ashley seems to overcompensate. I think the same thing with Sharice. She uses her hardness to protect her. She's been hurt before. She's been hurt a lot, and unfortunately,
she has some anger issues.
Well, yeah, it could be that, but it could also be that she's never received healing. and she's looking for fault. Because then one of the things that JR could probably back me up on this, we see Vernisha always finding fault with men.
That's right.
But part of that, when you find fault with people, part of that is you're using that as a protection so that you don't get close to them. She doesn't want to get close. She's fearful. And so I really, I have to say, I really feel for Sharice. I do. I have a heart for her.
Okay, but if we take that on board, you know, a relationship is not the place to rehabilitate from that trauma, and you're going to end up inflicting some of that trauma onto your partner. If you have such a hard exterior that you've put up because of hurt and everything, how are you going to warm up and be endearing to your partner when you have built up this wall for so long and it's been unresolved? And any arguments, or say this guy steps out of line, say this guy wakes her up out of her sleep, which we know she's flipped about. How do we know that she's not carrying energy from the previous trauma into this argument, which will blow it out of proportion? So she needs to heal, and it's not a relationship that she's looking for right now.
I absolutely agree with you, JR. It's like I said, I'm not denying. Again, I think we as men and women have to be honest about what we see and what we feel and what our gut is speaking to us about. So I see that she's been hurt. I see that she's carrying around a lot of baggage. I see that she hasn't healed. I see all of those things, but it's also why I feel for her. I don't know how else to say it, guys. I feel for her.
Understand it. If she's ready for love, but are you ready to love yourself?
Gotta love yourself first. That comes first. And that's what I'm wondering. I don't know, just last thing, my thought, my unprofessional thought about Sharice goes back to when we saw her on Ready to Love and we met her father. I still feel like there's a lot of trauma with Sharice and her father, because when he met Samson, he was very dismissive of his daughter. And I felt like he didn't protect her. I couldn't even imagine my own father coming out to meet a guy that I was serious about, and my father talking about me in front of my face to a man that I'm interested in. I couldn't imagine my father doing that, what her father did to her. So I think there's a lot of things. There's a lot of pain going around with Sharice, and that's something that she could look into. But I think that with the healing that she needs, I think that she would be a very good partner for somebody, because she's very passionate. And she, just the way we saw her protect, how she didn't want men in the house with Zadia, I feel like she would protect her man and her children that same way. And we would look at that with a lot of respect, because she's a protector.
And she's protecting herself. Right now,
and she's protecting herself. Exactly.
And she's pushing people away. It's only so close that they're going to get, then she pushed away at the same time.
Exactly. It's amazing how we can all watch the same show and come out with completely different perspectives, and that's what keeps the panels and stuff like this interesting. Because I don't see Sharice as being passionate about anybody else. I see her being passionate about the things she wants and what she's not going to put up with, whether it be being woken up out of her beauty sleep, or having men in the house or whatever. Listen, there's men in the house now. These last few weeks, the men have been in the house. She ain't been mad.
Are you talking about at the mixer, JR?
Yeah, like we've seen guys come and go in the house.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that.
So that whole blow up that she had earlier, it doesn't make sense. And
but she's conflicted with herself.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. These battles that she's fighting are internal, and so she needs to deal with them in an appropriate way, rather than to get into a relationship. Say she does pick Maurice at the end. Maurice is not a talkative guy. He doesn't seem like he's going to have the time or energy to be her therapist. He's going to be going to work, coming home, and looking to spend some time with her, and that's it. But if there are certain things that she needs to take care of in order for her to soften up, be warmer, and be vulnerable, then she needs to take those steps. And it starts from self-realization and self-actualization. Like, she has to realize that, okay, this is why my guard is up. This is why my walls are up. This is how I need to address it. Because if I bring it into a relationship, it's going to turn into a very toxic or potentially bad situation. Imagine if the roles were reversed and there was a guy that was broken or unhealed from something. You wouldn't be advising him to get into a relationship and inflict that on some unsuspecting lady. And it's the same way.
You're right. I mean, I'm not saying it, like I said, I'm not saying she's ready for a relationship. I'm just saying what I see when I look at her and when I listen to her, and having followed her over from Miami, her season, and watching very closely. These are the things that I feel that I see. I could be wrong. I'm willing to admit that I could be wrong, but this is what I see, and I do have a heart for her. I mean, I can't, there's no other way I can say it. She's one of my favorites, as well as, and a lot of people are going to get upset, but I'm going to say Vernisha. So now, speaking of Vernisha meets Tabari at his home, and he gives her long stem red roses that she says that she adores. She says that his place is nice. And what did you guys make of this? Going right over to you, Ron. This is your place right here to pipe up. What did you make of Vernisha and Tabari?
Yeah, like I said,
okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I saw a little clips of it. I don't know how much chemistry was there. Yeah, like.
Okay. Oh, you didn't know. Oh, you don't know. You don't see whether there's feel whether there's some chemistry going on between them.
Yeah, it's tough for me to like I said, because I know the woman so well. I was with her all week. You know what I mean? I know sort of her type. It was not.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that Tabari is no Jabari, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, like and women need to kind of take a look at themselves and say, okay, you might have a type, but is it, what does it look like with trying something different and new or whatnot, or switching that up? And I've been trying to help some of my women friends with that obstacle and that struggle and stuff like that. And honestly, it's been tough because I don't have the answer for them because I believe women want what they want. You know what I mean? And whether if it's good for them or not. So like, I don't know. Like I said, that's one of the things I'm struggling right now with some of my female friends to say, y'all might want to try something different, but y'all are not going to leave what y'all like.
You say for the women to try something different? Is that what you're suggesting to the ladies?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, like, prime example, like, let's give a different woman, even though it might be the same. I got a cousin, a good friend, and he's very, very successful. I mean, the $1 million, everything and stuff like that. He's not that. He met the woman. They're not each other's type. I go talk to her friend. I was like, oh, he met my cousin and stuff like that. Ron, no, that's not her type. But then they started like talking and things of that nature. And then everybody's like, you need to stop that because she going to hurt that poor man because that's not her type. She's eventually going to go back to her type.
Oh.
And yeah, you know what I mean? So you need to stop that before you end up hurting that man and messing it up for the next girl who's more his type. And he's more, you know what I mean, reserved, and you know what I mean. It's just not like type.
That's a leader. That's a little bit more outgoing, gregarious type of guy.
Yeah, a little more tough. You know what I mean? Not a nerd. You know what I mean? Like with some women can date nerds, some women can't. You know what I mean? It's just one of those type of things.
I love me a nerd.
Yeah, some women can get with a nerd. Some women can't get with a nerd. I know they even got a little more popular now and some of them, but some women would be like, "Oh, that dude's just too corny for me. I can't do it." Mm-hmm. And I'm letting let her know you're not gonna stop that man from being corny. That's just who he is. So you even gonna be able to accept it or not. But in order to get the benefits that you get with a nerd, probably the same reason, Aubrey, why you like a nerd. They're focused,
driven, I like a nerd actually because I can relate to a nerd because I used to be kind of nerdy myself, and I like a nerd because, again, I'm a sapiosexual. I like a man that is a thinking man. If he doesn't have a good conversation, if he isn't able to paint pictures for me with his words, if he's not a wordsmith, I don't want him. I don't care how good he looks.
And that's it. But let's say these 4 girls on the track. None of these women have never been nerds. You know what I mean? They were it women back in their day. They were it women back in their day. They've been popular and cool for a long time. And these have been popular and cool in the city for a long time. So like, you know what I mean?
Right.
People still gonna relate back to their type. You know what I mean? I think so. And I think this guy just wasn't. I don't know. If you see something I don't see the clips there, I didn't see the chemistry.
Well, no, I don't see the chemistry with them either. But at first, because, here's the thing. Now, you bring up a very good point about Vernisha. And I picked this up, and I talked about this before on another podcast with this show. Vernisha is able to, unlike the other 3 women, she is the only one, like myself, she's able to go out with just about anybody that's halfway decent and smile and show him a good time and be polite. Be warm, be friendly. The other ladies aren't able to do that, which is to their detriment, I believe. It's really to their detriment to not be a good dater. Like, I'm just going to be funny and nice to the guys that I like, but you never take the time and think about, well, maybe you're not going to like the guy so much on the first date, but maybe by the 3rd date, you find out you got a whole lot in common, but you've already missed out on that because you were rude to, like, Zadia. Zadia is rude on her dates. If she doesn't like you, she just lets you know.
She's gonna let you know. She's gonna straight up let you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But to your point, getting back to Vernisha is not. She's not rude. She's like me. She has that Southern hospitality. I got that from my mom, who grew up in Houston. So, that Southern warmness, and we're able to do that. But to your point, no, I don't see that there's a real connection or a chemistry between her and Tabari. She doesn't like that Tabari is goofy,
Yeah, she don't.
But to the
Venetia,
same point. Oh, go ahead.
Because she's a man. She's a man's man, right? Like, as Sharice would be more on the faker side. When Zoe called on you fake when he said it with his chest. Venetia's always been real, but she's the one throw you under the bus. She ain't gonna, you know what I mean? It's certain lines she ain't gonna cross. She gonna make you feel comfortable as a man and give you your props and say thank you, and she gonna play damsel in distress. She knows how to do it, and that's what I thought. Manziel, you know what I mean? When he caught on to that and said, okay, I feel more comfortable over here than over there during this space, and she just has that magic to make a person feel that way. It's just it's her personality. I don't think it's a way of a dating thing. She's like that all the time. She knows that you need to do that. A lot of women are kind of so more focused on themselves, they forget to do that. They forget to play. They don't know how to play damsel in distress around a man. They don't know how to give the man his. I mean, every time I'm with Venetia, you know what I mean? She's the only one, and I take care of my castmates, my girls over there out and things like that. I did that during the filming all the way till now. She's the only one to be like, hey, this is Ron. Ron always takes care of us. This is Ron. Ron always, he's my protector. If something goes down, I feel safe around him. Ron's going to make sure we taken care of. He's going to make sure we in straight, home safe, the drinks are paid for. That he going to, she gives me my pop every single time. I don't ask for it. I don't do it for that. You know what I mean? I'm just my personality, who I am. But she would showcase that to people, just being herself. And men appreciate that sometimes. Okay, she could play down from the stress. She could give a man his props and things of that nature on cue. She ain't gonna be shady and throw you under the bus. She ain't gonna. There's only so much she gonna do for production. You know what I mean? And that's a man's safe place when he's in a environment like a reality dating show. So men are gonna gravitate towards that.
Yeah, she's got that going for her. She's got that working for her. Meanwhile, JR is giving us lessons about Sharice not having any excuse for her conversation lacking because her mouth wasn't full of foods. JR, you going in on Sharice? I'm telling you, don't be going in on my favorite. Don't be going in on my favorite, one of my favorites right there. But in any case, moving forward, so we talked about Sharice. Where are we at here on my notes? Mississippi. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we're still on. No. I don't know how I got here. Vernisha. Did we talk about Vernisha and Tabari's home?
You didn't talk. You were talking about Sharice.
Yeah. Okay. So Vernisha goes over to Barry's. She gets. We did kind of start. We started talking, and I kind of lost. We lost track with all our little personal stories. But what am I saying here? Uh. So we find out from Vernisha that Tabari has a baby down in Mississippi. And so she's saying that she's concerned because while she's willing to maybe possibly make the move to New Orleans, she doesn't see herself and see how he will have time to divide his time between his baby in Mississippi, coming back to New Orleans, and her having her place in Houston. Um, well, Ron, what do you think about that? Is there anything you want to tell us about that?
Cop out. That's an excuse. Like, if anybody who's cool with children and knows how that environment works is Benicia out of any woman I know in the world. She's raised 3. She was on the show. She was willing to deal with Joel's too, and she's good with that. Like, you know what I mean? Other people, yeah, she knows how that works inside and out with them kids and the importance and a man having to go, you know, visit his kid and things like that. Even with my kid, she's a big supporter of it. So I don't know, like, you know, and maybe she was feeling them a little more.
What I'm thinking is, okay, so it's been what a year and a half since your season went off the air, right? Since your season of Houston, I'm thinking though, like too, I'm kind of like feeling her on this one because I think it's great that he's a good father and kudos, you know, kudos to all the good great dads out there, the single dads. But the problem with it is that she's now getting older and she's got a kid in college and she's got 2 more following right behind about to go to college. At some point, a woman gets tired raising children and dealing with young children because I don't know what this guy's kid's age is, but I'm thinking that this kid must be very young, maybe 5, 6, 7. And, you know, it's a thing. It becomes a thing. Like for me, my kids are both grown and gone. I don't want to deal with anybody's little kids. Not on a regular basis. I mean, I'm thinking about, you know, grandkids, like, you know, bring them over. I can spend some time and then I can ship them back to you. But like, if I got to deal with your kid and if I was dating somebody, no, I'm not going to want to deal with a baby. I'm not going to want to deal with an elementary age school kid on a regular basis. And that's not, maybe it sounds selfish, but that's just where I'm at in my life. I don't want to deal with young kids anymore.
I got a young kid, so I understand. Yeah, it's fair. But some women like her, that's just who had to do it on her own with 3 kids as a mother, they got that understanding, and she understands. She gets it. Like, she's not gonna come with that same notion as you of saying like, "Oh, my kids are grown now, I'm done." No, she remembers back when them daughters were small and things of that nature, and what you had to do and respect good fathers and things of that nature. So I don't think that's exactly how she feels within that. I feel that if you had a young kid and she had to come help and help you out with that situation, but he should be the one out of these 4 girls that I would pick to do it.
Oh, absolutely. Because like you said, she actually has children and she knows what it's about.
But another issue they have is proximity. They're in 2 different venues, right? They don't stay in close proximity, or do they?
But on Venetia's interview, she said that she does spend a lot of time in New Orleans. She's got family there, and she would be prepared to move there too.
Okay.
But I think Venetia having kids means she's open to meeting a guy that has kids as well. That's what I get from her. I don't think that's a turn off or a red flag or anything. I think she's more open to that. And in fact, she might even appreciate that element because it shows that the guy's caring and he's, you know, if he's in his child's life and he's present, then that's a quality that she might admire and respect. But I think, and this is just from seeing some of the feedback about this Tabari guy. You see, like how we were saying, when Zadia went to Cameron's apartment, she said, yeah, it needs flowers and it needs a woman's touch and this, that, the other. There were some feedback that I saw that was saying this Tabari guy may be fruity because he had flowers ready. His apartment seemed very tidy and
oh gosh,
it doesn't look realistic. So they think he might be zesty.
Oh
Oh,
my
wow.
goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
see that. I didn't see that.
He
I
may
missed
be
that.
neat.
no, did
Yeah, I
I?
was gonna
But
He,
say
he,
because I've run across
he
men
may
that
be
are
he may be domesticated. He may have
yeah,
somebody. He may have somebody
I hear that.
else. Okay. Yeah.
But
mm,
I think that the aesthetics, I don't see Tabari with Venetia
It could be
at
Metro.
all. I don't see that.
you don't feel the chemistry either. Like to what Ron's saying, you don't feel that they have any
Nah,
good chemistry.
good. Like they might, they might be good. They might be friends or friendly,
Mm-hmm.
but relationship wise, I don't see it.
Okay. Okay.
But what you like
That's
is that
fair. Like you said, we all watch and we all see. Mhm.
what you like about this show is that they're putting everything on the table. First of all, they're letting each other know how they feel, the man and the women, and that's important. Be transparent. Let people know how you feel, and then that way we can make a decision about whether or not we need to pursue this relationship. And instead of holding back, even though he held back about the marriage, that was when he was a kid. He's still not being. They're still not being malicious. They putting a lot of stuff on the table, even their feelings, which is that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this one, he didn't talk about a marriage. We're at a different couple, but
Yeah.
but what are your thoughts, Sean? What are your thoughts about this?
Well, I mean, Ron knows Venetia better than all of us, and I think it can matter. But then once again, you don't want to. I guess if you have to be secure where you fit in the relationship. How old is the child? If the child is very young, then if I was a woman, I would expect her and the man to spend time with the child because the father is very important in the child's life. Now versus say for instance, if he was a deadbeat and just trying to get with me if I was a woman, that wouldn't look good either. So, I mean, I think it depends on how he's going to play it, how it plays out. Whether he's active in his child's life and he can balance that role between a relationship with Venetia and a relationship with his child, then go for it. And then, of course, he has the child's mother to deal with. What is the relationship like with her? I don't know. So,
I mean,
That's
what is
at
the depth of
Venetia's
that
age,
relationship?
she's dating. You're dating men with children all the time, so you're used to that, especially in Houston. So you've already been.
Wait a minute.
You already.
Wait. They got something special going on in Houston that we don't know about.
It's
What's
just
going
a big city. We're in the third, fourth largest city, and so you know what I mean. You're in a big
I know
metropolitan
that
city.
part. I know that part, but
Yeah.
you said it like everybody in Houston has got children almost. I mean, did I miss
Well,
something?
if you're 40 something years old, like we always got to bring up the age with these women.
Right.
Then you're probably dating a man in his 40s, close to, you know what I mean? Some of them guys got kids. I mean, it is what it is. So, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
You're looking at, you know what I mean, at 55, you know what I mean? Yeah, these guys have got lives and things of that nature, and those are the guys that she deals with. So she's used to a couple kids here and there and stuff like that and how to maneuver in those situations and stuff like that. It's barely that you're going to meet a man that had all his kids young, just like you, and he's 40, young 40s and stuff, and all the kids about to get out the house, or he just doesn't have any kids at all. And even then, that's a red flag for her because she ain't trying to have no more kids. She said that on her season. So
Well, yeah.
imagine all the guys who are 40 to 46 who still want kids. There's a lot of black men in that age demographic and things like that wants kids. Like I said, she almost got eliminated first day from our show because she said she didn't want kids, and every single guy lined up and said, "Oh, she got to go." Or even everybody wanted kids, even the older guy. That was Diedrich, that was 47, wanted kids. He was like, "Oh, she got to go."
Right,
Luckily,
right. The chef guy, right? The chef guy.
yeah.
He
Luckily,
wanted-
Joel had so much. Joel had power, so Joel said, "No, she ain't going nowhere." Venetia would have been gone first, second day, because of the kid thing. That's how serious dudes were about them kids. So
okay.
So she's like, I can't date a guy who don't got no kids or wants a kid because I don't want no more. And I'm not gonna put all my eggs in the basket to get lucky enough to get a guy whose kids are all older. So I got to adjust myself to be dealing with guys who might have younger kids or kids already.
Well,
that might be my will.
Somebody speak to Sharice about this fact, because once again, we're back on facts, and facts are facts, and you ain't gonna change them, ladies. I'm trying to get Sharice to understand that a lot of the guys that she likes, that she wants, they're going to have been married before and they're going to have kids at the age range that she's looking at. That's a very good point, Ryan. Very good point. And thank you for that. Please go ahead and like the video if you haven't already. So moving forward from Sharice, and I'm sorry, and Vernisha. I'm sorry, from Vernisha. Cam stops by the house, kind of out of the blue, to have a heart-to-heart with Zadia.
Mm-hmm.
He feels that the process is going too fast, that he wasn't ready this year to meet someone like her. Of course, it left all of us viewers saying, well, why did you sign up? Why did you sign up? But that, and that if she finds someone else, and she thinks there's someone else, another man out there that can give her all that she needs, that she should go for it, or is she willing to hang on to him? Once again, I was left flabbergasted. I'm like, what are you trying to tell this woman? Would you just speak English and quit talking in circles? Is this supposed to be a riddle? What do you want to tell her? What is it that you want? It seems like he's being transparent, but it also seems like he's basically trying to tell her that she needs to move forward. And maybe when she goes out on her next blind date, maybe instead of being rude to the guy, maybe Zadia can actually get to know the next guy. Because Cameron is sounding like he's tapped out. Anybody want to add anything to this? I know we've covered this ad nauseum, but anybody else want to add anything to what they're feeling like Cameron is trying to say, or what Zadia needs, or whatever?
Well, maybe it's conflictual because he wants to be there for her on the level that she wants to be, but the energy that's required right now, he may just be starting to be getting things lined up so they can move for him. Because it seems like he relocated from somewhere else and he's established himself there in New Orleans, but it's a lot of demands to go along with. He knows he needs somebody else, but then he also needs to put this time into his career. So it's an interesting position to be in. Because the time that it would require to spend with her takes away from the momentum of his business. The energy he puts into his business takes away from his momentum with her. And maybe it's been down that road too many times. He's tired of just working all the time and not having a life with somebody.
Yeah, it seems like he may still be at that building stage that men go through. And a lot of times when a real serious man is building, he's really not going to let anything stand in his way of the empire that he's trying to build. So,
but he needs somebody of substance in his life. That's the conflict. He needs somebody that's there with him, that's supporting him, pouring into him, encouraging him. But it takes a lot of energy for that,
And she's not that person. I don't think she's that person to be that, like I said, that soft cheerleader type of person. That ain't her, man. Zadia's tough. When you meet her, you feel that energy as a man. You really do. You feel it right away. And you really have to make a decision if you're just going to be playing gentleman and be the man in the situation and just go with it, or if you're going to be confrontational with her as a man and say, hey, you okay, I'm going to keep my guard up. And as soon as she try to throw a quick little jab, I got mine ready. You know what I mean? You got to make a decision real quick which way you're going to play it, because that's how the energy is coming at you. And like she said, he'll tell you straight up, you even gonna be my friend and you ain't, but you're gonna make a decision on it right now. Like, she's tough. So yeah, if he's looking for that nurturing and all that feeling stuff right away, like, yes, he don't feel that because he doesn't bring that right away. That ain't what she does. And I think I think Zadia looks great off camera. I think she's gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she looks good. But that could blind you a little bit for a second. And then you have to come with the realization that the woman is tough. And what guys want to deal with that? You know what I mean? And who deals with it, that's where a match is going to be. Because, like you said, if a person's a little more docile of a man and he's just going to go with her flow and whatever she says about that, she's fine. Oh, okay. he's easy going to hang along with and stuff like that. But what happens when, as a man, you got to boss up, or you got to say this, or you got to say, I need this, I need you to be in my corner, do this for me and stuff like that. Are you going to feel comfortable doing that to a woman that's bringing that type of energy all the time?
Right, right.
And I don't think he feels comfortable. I don't think he feels comfortable to say, nah, girl, you moving here. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, how this, you know, this is how this is going to be. And you going to do what I say. You know, yeah, you know, you got to be like, kind of like that. But if you going to come like that with these girls, you better have your stuff in order, because these some boss women. So, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, if you going to be him, they're going to make you stand on it. You better be him.
Ron, what do you think? I feel like Cameron, I think Zadia might have underestimated Cameron. I think Cameron is like a low-key alpha. He's a quiet, reserved alpha. He doesn't do all that banging on the chest that, you know, and those really, to me, aren't really alpha men, but, you know, sometimes women and men will call them alpha men. But I think he's a quiet, reserved guy like my dad, who was an alpha, but he doesn't need to do all that talking to let you know who he is. And it seems like to me that all this talk that he's given her when he comes by and pops up and surprises her is that he's really trying to say that it's not going to be the way you want it. Everything is not going to be just the way you want it. If you can find a guy like, who was it, Lee Iacocca used to say here in Detroit, if you can find a better deal, a better car, you know, for Chrysler, then go for it. Right. So he's telling her that, and she's got to really stop and look at herself and stop listening to her friend Camille and decide for herself, am I going to stand on business? And if this is the man I want, I'm going to have to make some concessions and some compromises, because I think Cam I think she underestimated him. I think she really did. She thought that he was going to be another Naeem, and he is not Naeem at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like you said, he can command it. He don't have to demand it. He don't have to demand something from. He's good with himself. He can command it. He don't have to pound on the table to get it. He knows he can get it without her. But then maybe she needs to concede to a greater game, because being the woman that's so tough, maybe you have to kind of reevaluate yourself, because you need love too. And you're getting to the state in your life where you need something more than what you're getting out of a relationship, you know? So look at yourself. Concede to a greater game. It can be a great catch for you, but you gonna have to do something to make it more conducive for that, you know?
Yeah, and I know what Aubrey likes, because she brings it up back in the, you know, we were doing Miami Cast with Blue and stuff like that, that reserved, confident guy, things of that nature. But some women need that alpha that could apply that pressure too at the same time without making it feel reserved. You know what I mean? He's applying real pressure, but still being an alpha, still in this mask is really hard to do. But that's kind of like what they're looking for. So a guy too reserved back and chill, it's gonna irritate a woman. Like that's like Dante's real reserved back, chill. You know what I mean? and again, popped in the face for it. You know what I mean? You can't.
I don't see her popping. I don't see her popping old boy in the face. And if she does, she gonna have them New Orleans women putting that voodoo on her. She better watch herself. My mama tell you, being from Houston, man, them women put them roots on you, man. All your hair fall out, everything, you know. Okay, don't play.
But you know, you ever tell me this? Have you ever dated a guy with some of that reserve, that confidence is so laid back and reserved that it almost comes across condescending or cocky and stuff like that, and it ends up irritating you?
Yeah.
As a female, yeah, you know what I mean. Some people have that quiet, like they kind of like, I think I'm better than you, kind of pose and energy and things of that nature. And women like her, that pisses them off. So like, I think a man who's applying that pressure and saying, you know, baby, we need to do, you know, this and that, brings more of her femininity out and makes her feel a little more comfortable. So I don't know about the laid back, oh, you can do whatever you want, girl, take it or leave it type of thing. It ain't gonna work with a girl like her. You're gonna have to apply some pressure.
But that's just the beauty of it. When you put your cards on the table and let a person know how you feel, that's better than trying to be on something that you're not, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we see the women in the parlor for the living room parlor. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you a question and piggyback on something you said, Aubrey, and I was gonna ask the question toward Ron, since you know Zadia. How much do you think of Zadia's commitment or lack of commitment is tied into her loyalty toward Camille. Ron,
I think
Ron there? Or is he there?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking to me with that portion of the question. It sounded like you had a two-parter, but I'm just going to say real quick.
Oh, sorry. I'm here. I'm sorry. Yeah. He asked me the question. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Zadia's commitment. Zadia's doing very well in her business right now, and I think she has a lot of commitment towards that. I mean, Camille got a man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she ain't worried about that too much. So I think is it Zadia at this point right now, because when you talk to her, first she's going to be, you know, she's proud of the fact that her fitness business is taking off and she's a boss. She talks about it. She's proud of it. So to me, that tells me a woman that's into her business, you know what I mean? And to really want a husband and a man, that has to be first priority. And I'm not sure if that's first priority exactly right now for her. I think it's just growing. I mean, the business is doing well. When the business is doing well, you want to ride with it. You know, you that's your baby right now. You want to keep nurturing it so it can birth for you and things of that nature. I think that's what she's doing right now. So a man would be nice, but is it first priority?
Okay. Does that answer your question, Sean? Sean?
The floor is yours, Aubrey. The floor is yours. No, I'm saying the floor is yours now. I just asked my question. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was going to say, I think that's a good question. Okay, so we're in the living room and back again to Zadia. Zadia's catching the ladies and Tamika up on her and Cam and what, you know, Cam had to say with the pop-up visit. But she also makes this surprise comment that she's no longer dating with her genitals. And the women kind of have a little cackle about that. So I thought that was interesting. I'm not sure when she says that comment, I'm not sure if she's overcompensating for something that we already, as viewers, are already thinking that has already occurred. So anybody have any brief thoughts about that?
I think she's focused on the fact that she wants to know a person before she knows them. You know, you're gonna know them on a greater level than just a physical level.
Okay, yeah,
which makes sense because you can know them physically, but then that may not be sustainable. You know, but if you know them emotionally, that can lead to making it more complementary instead of being, you know, just one dimensional. If you understand what I'm saying, you know.
Absolutely. I agree. I think that's true. I guess I'm just thinking as a viewer, I'm not so sure that I'm really buying that her and Cameron after a month plus, and that late night first date that she had with him, and the dog being so familiar and comfortable with her. I don't know if I'm buying that. Anyway, we're gonna move forward.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
You don't buy it either, Ryan?
Well, these women are basically on vacation. You know how women act when they on vacation.
I don't know. I've never been on that kind of vacation, but okay.
You ain't never been to Miami?
I've never been to Jamaica yet. Okay,
what happened in Jamaica?
I never went to Jamaica as a single woman.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? You ain't never been on no type of...
But I wasn't there as a single woman either, so I can't speak to none of that. You
away from home. You away from the people. You in a sexy city like New Orleans. You there for a month. You know what I mean? It's good men, looking men, women around. Stuff could happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess.
What else? It ain't nothing else to do. What else you doing?
We can't go swimming. We can't eat go to all the places that we heard about in the great city of New Orleans, all that good food. Emerald City. Come on now. Emerald is a top-notch chef. Come on. We can't do that.
You can, but you know, eventually this person's about to go back to where they was from. So you might want to take advantage of some time, quality time while you got it.
See, this is how C19. This is how C19 got passed around. I'm firmly convinced. This is how C19 got passed around. Everybody visiting and having a good time. Nobody wearing their mask. Folks all kissing and doing other things.
Hey, go to Essence Festival in New Orleans one year and then tell me what you think.
I've been there. I won trips to Essence Festival. I am like the winner of the most trips ever. If you ever want to meet somebody that wants to submit their name, I won trips to Orlando. I won trips to Disney World. I won trips to Essence Festival. I've been there, and well, you know what? Now that you mention it. Okay, I got a story. We'll have to do a story time at a later date because I do have a story about a guy I met in New Orleans. Not that you
I bet. I know what's going on in Essence Festival. Trust me, I've been a fan.
I met a tall, handsome engineer on my trip to New Orleans, and I was with my ex. Okay, this is the weird thing. So I went this trip, and I got all my girlfriends and my cousins, my female cousins, asking to go on this trip, and I decided to take my ex. So I tell him before we go, I said, listen, what happens in New Orleans, you meet somebody, then that's fine. You go have a nice time. If I meet somebody, I'm going to go have a nice time because we're just here as platonic friends. But we'll have to talk about that at a later date, though. So you're right. I kind of see your point. Your point now. Okay. So anyway, so enough about that. So we're at we're talking about Zadia. We moved past that. We've got Sharice and Nick. Okay, so now we got the mixer. The guys are there for the keepers mixer, and Sharice has the unique situation of having both Will and Nick there, and she's got to make the hard choice between the one who has the conversation and the young child, and the one who is tall, handsome, has the hair and the body that she likes. And so who does she pick? She picks the guy with the body with no conversation. So what did you guys make of this? I'm going to go over here to JR. JR, what were your thoughts about Sharice's pick? Did she pick right?
For out of the two guys, yeah, that was the one she's most attracted to. Conversation went well. They already had eye contact before. So it seems like the natural choice.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're right. It definitely does. And it eliminates her from having to have the pressure of having all this being a conversationalist, since he's not a conversationalist either, right?
Uh-huh.
Ryan, what are your thoughts? Did she pick right? Is it best to pick the one that you're most attracted to?
In her situation, I think no, but a woman gonna want what she wants. You know what I mean? I'm sick of trying to convince a woman that it should be the other way around. You know what I mean? Just because it makes more sense. Because women, what I learned now is women gonna want what they want. But she needs to be the eye candy of the relationship. It needs to be the Beauty and the Beast type of syndrome where, like I said, he's the beast, she the beauty, she's the prize, and things of that nature. And it's never gonna be nothing but a short-term escapade if she's picking for looks. Good looking one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think it's a competition between her and old boy, huh?
It ain't even a competition. Like she has to be realistic and stuff. She's getting older. She's looking older, and she's used to being the prize looks wise in a relationship. So she can't take a back seat for that role. And so, realistically, you need a man that's a little older, a little more balder, a little more this, a little more quieter, and let you shine and let you be the prize. Let him try to rise up to your situation. I can't see it going the other way around. Them days are her thinking she about to get 6'6", good-looking, fitted suit, 44, 45-year-old body, six-pack guys to look at her as the prize and want to get down and marry her over all the other choices that this type of guy has is absurd. That's not how it's not how it's laying anymore.
She's kind of out of that. What you're saying, it sounds like to me, to put it in a different way, Ron. She's kind of out of that ball player phase of her life, right? Because we can see Sharice like 10, 15 years ago, she was that ball player's choice, right?
It was, but that mentality, she's never gonna get rid of it. She's always used to being that ball player's choice. Even when she's 55, she's gonna feel that way. You see it with the Claudia Jordans of the world and things of that nature. So get a guy who's looking at you like you're still that girl. And yeah, he's just not gonna look as good. But the thing is, I'm sick of this whole thing where the males now have to be the eye candy. This is so weird to me. Like, you supposed to look good. I'm not. Like, I'm supposed to be letting you shine. I'm not. If I take a picture with you, I'm not looking at the picture to see how I look in the picture. If you look good, we good. I don't care how the picture come out. Like, I'm a man. I'm not looking at my looks and saying I'm a good looking man. I don't know if I'm good looking or not. I don't care. You're supposed to be good looking. Like, you know what I mean? I'm supposed to be provided, protected, and do other stuff and things of that nature. Like, I don't understand this whole new, the man's the eye candy type of situation. It's
I'm
weird
with you
to me.
on that, Rod. I find that very foolish and very backwards, but that's just my way of thinking. I've never wanted a guy that's going to spend more time in the mirror than I do. I think there's something very intrinsically wrong with that picture.
But when it's saying men think they're the prize now, now it's the new thing. The man thinks he's the prize and things of that nature. Well, you women, you're making it that way because you want a man that's looking just as good, if not better looking than you. That's why he's feeling like the prize.
Grace Mercy in the chat wants to know, why can't Sharice have a nice looking man? I don't think that's what we're saying, Grace Mercy. I don't think that's what we're saying. But
what I'm saying is that she can have a nice looking man, but it comes with something. So you're gonna have to subtract something for that. So yeah, okay, she's gonna go with a nice looking man. Okay, with Sharice, that man might be looking at you, might get less attention from that man, or that man you might have to bring some more money to the table for that man. That man might say, I'll partner up with you being a good looking man, but you ain't gonna come here and get taken care of. You're gonna have to come 50-50, or you're gonna come with some bread, or you're gonna come with this. It always comes with something. If you're not willing to give up anything, like she's kind of proven that she's not, then go get you a man that's looking at you like you're the prize and you're the beauty queen and things of that nature, and he's gonna simp for you and do all those type of things and open up your door and give you the flowers and pay the rent and do all the stuff that you're gonna eventually need to feel comfortable. But you're not gonna have it both ways. Not at this age. It ain't there. No woman is having it both ways at this age. You can get extremely lucky, but if you're betting your whole life and marriage and the rest of your years on finding that lucky one out of a million and stuff, you might be that woman with the cat in the bed at age 59, 60 and stuff like that with nobody around. So take your choice. I've seen
Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, I see her with a guy a little older, maybe a little bolder, maybe a little, maybe not as in shape, but gets a good heart, looks at her as a beauty queen, like, oh my God, like he pictures her as the woman that back when she was 34, 32 with the ball players, he couldn't have. Now he has access to her that's older, and he feels grateful for that. So he's willing to really go the extra mile and put up with her stuff and take care of her and things of that nature. And she's going to need that. Because the other way around, playing it with the good looking guy and things of that nature, and he's looking at her like, okay, she's cute and all, she's getting old, this and that. Oh, she's kind of demanding, and he's thinking he the prize and stuff. It's eventually not going to work for a woman like her.
I think you and our beloved Monique King are on the same page, because she's saying that a nice looking guy, we just need to know that this really good looking guy that's got all the muscles and spends 3 hours in the gym every day, he's probably going to want someone half his age, like Mizell. He's going to want somebody half his age, because Mizell told us he don't have no age limit. He take them how they come, and the 35-year-olds are on him. So he wanted us to know that on his Crystal XO. Shout out to Crystal XO, by the way. Great interviews this last week with Mizell and also with Vernisha to get both sides of that story. But we're going to move forward. So you guys think that basically Sharice made the right choice for her. What did you have to say about it, Sean? Did you feel like Sharice made the best pick for herself?
I don't think so. I think really that maybe the guy, what's his name? They has a child. I think he would have been a better pick.
Willie.
However, I think the drawback with her would have been the child again. But Will. But the child would have been a red flag for her, if you want to call it a red flag, child red flag. But I think as Ron and Calvin and you have said, Aubrey and JR as well. that she likes the athletic type, and of course, that's the first thing she complimented him on was, I would like to see what's under that shirt. And da, da, da. But think about it, she wants him to come to Miami. Miami is known for what? Beaches, right?
Yeah.
Beaches.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
I got
Yeah.
eye candy. I got eye candy. So he's like the eye candy to her. So I think that was the impetus for her choice.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
She gonna end up back with Maurice. Vern thanks
Oh
to
yeah, oh
Barry.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Vern thanks Tabari for dinner, that homemade dinner that he invited her to his home for, and the flowers. And she tells him that she wants him to just be more serious. She doesn't want him to be, as Ron would say, that goofy kind of guy. She doesn't like that goofiness about him. So um I don't know. I'm thinking they're not going to be too long together, because anytime a man or a woman gets to telling the other partner how to behave and how to be more like the way they want them to be, I'm thinking that if it goes against that person's natural characteristics, I'm thinking that's just not going to be a good fit. You know, I don't know. What do you think about that, Sean? Do you think that's a good fit for them?
No, no. I mean, I keep Tabari as being a very serious guy. I think Ron hit nails spot on. I mean, to me, I mean, that'll be interesting. I think he's like a cornball to me. He's a cornball, corny dude. I mean, no game, weak, rap, whack, whatever you want to call it. I just think that he's not a good fit for her. I mean, he could be another Joel.
Right. Yeah, so there's that. And
Joel went no cornball though.
no, Joel wasn't. Joel was a rapper.
No, Joel, he wasn't a cornball.
No, he wasn't. He was a cool, good
Nah.
looking guy.
Yeah, good looking guy and a tough guy. You know what I mean? Like he's
What I'm saying,
yeah. He a type Joel will get with you. You know what I mean? And Benicia like stuff. You know what I mean? Her baby daddy guy would have got with you. Is this guy that type of protector? This guy that type. You know what I mean? You gotta.
Right, I can see that.
Yeah.
Joel didn't. Yeah, Joel. He that kind of light skinned guy that they say don't underestimate him, because he wasn't gonna let you punk him. He wasn't gonna let no other man punk him either.
Oh yeah,
Right?
no punking him. Yeah, no punking Joel. So, and women notice it. Women who are used to guys like that, that's what they look for.
You cut in,
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah. I said Joel in the sense of basically maybe after the show ghosting her. That's what I'm saying. That's what I would say. After everything's over with. I mean I've seen two sides of Joel. Number one, I've seen the show on Ready to Love, and then I did happen to catch an episode of House Hunters when he and his late wife were on the episode. I don't know if anybody ever saw that episode, and very much different guy. Very much. Yeah.
Really?
They were on the episode of House Hunters. And
yeah, but so how was he different with his late wife?
I mean,
how was he different? Sean, how was he different?
Well, you didn't hear too much of that. You heard me, you heard me. No, you didn't hear all that on that show. You saw that he was very much a family man. He wanted something for his children, what have you, that he could build something and own something. He was a very hard-working man and proud of what he's been able to achieve and what have you, and just building something solid for him and his family. And I think that's the kind of guy he is. Probably an upstanding guy, very family-oriented man, so.
He's out of that, but he got some of that Manziel too. I mean, like Joel good with the ladies though.
Yeah, I was just taking a picture of my W on the forehead, but I don't want to be the one to say. But to your point though, Ron, too, I think that every man, like he could have had with his wife, perhaps was a different person because he was married and committed to her. He chose her, right? So, and I've seen pictures, by the way, of his late wife. She is absolutely positively
She looked great, but the fact of the matter is, on the truth of the thing is, they weren't married at the end. I mean, it was basically a non-marriage life, and he was living a single life at the time. You know what I mean? So
okay. Yeah, I think I'd
Yeah.
heard that too. That they actually had been divorced. If that was the case, I don't know what's true and what's not true. That they were actually divorced before she passed away. But yeah, but he's definitely got that New Orleans blood running in him. Let's just say that. And then I don't know, maybe it's just me, but anytime a man's 40 plus and decides all of a sudden he's gonna become a rapper, I'm a little suspect of that guy. You waited
late
40
coming in the
years.
game.
You waited 40 years and now all of a sudden you're gonna become a rapper. Come on,
see, I
seriously.
thought you'd be supportive of the music, Aubrey.
Yeah.
No, not so much. Not so much. Nah, if it's not Gregory Porter doing jazz, no, not so much. Uh, not the rapping. No, that's kind of young. I mean, isn't that kind of old to be getting into rapping at 40?
It's different, but I mean, he's serious about it. I'll give you that much, and
Okay, well,
he
let's just
produced
say
it.
this. So that's been over a year ago. We still ain't heard that EP yet, right? We still haven't heard that. We still
He
haven't.
produces songs every day, and actually, it's good production. So somebody's backing him with it because he has great production on the songs, and he comes out with a new song every 2 weeks.
Yeah, but where is it though? Where can I pick it up in the record shop or something? Oh, it's all electronic now. It's all digital. Okay, Ryan. Is he gonna be here at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater? That's all I want to know. This summer
No,
coming
no,
up.
it ain't that. And honestly, I think it's this. I think with the music thing, it's like if you're like being a reality, you came out reality TV show, you got to be like, if people want to book you for something and things of that nature, you got to be known for something. So now it's like, oh, Joel does music, bring him here to this, or Joel the rapper, or Joel the, you know what I mean? He had to find a niche of what he was known for. Was it Joel the fisherman? You know what I mean? Like you got to be, or
Oh,
like.
I
So let's
got
say
you.
if I just came out through reality TV and I just wrote a book, you'd be like, oh, we got Ron the Offer and Ready to Love cast member coming there. You have a title with that. Now it's Joel the rapper. Yeah,
Almost like a tagline or something. Okay.
yeah, definitely. So I feel it's more that. I feel like he loves music and things of that nature, but he needed another niche to add on to it as a title to say, okay, music star slash reality TV star slash good father, because you don't get no title for being a good father. Nobody says the good father Joel, the good father. That's just something that you guys got to do. You don't get no trophies for that. So you have to get a tagline on it. The motivational speaker, the offer, the rapper, the musician. You have to have a talent to go with it. So that he was just using that, I think,
Oh,
as
okay.
as a talent. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I think it's nothing wrong with somebody having a vacation, having a hobby that they enjoy, that they're passionate about. Like, like this YouTube channel, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I hope people don't think I'm trying to put him down. I'm just simply saying that on the more serious side of things, it's kind of hard for me to take it that, I mean, is he planning on quitting his day job to become a rapper? I mean, I don't know, but when you put it that way, that it's all a marketing tool, I can get it. I can understand it better that way. Sometimes you just got
Yeah,
to
some
break
guys,
it.
their job is the hustle. So they got to have different things that they're doing and avenues and things of that nature, how they collect their money and stuff. They just, you from Detroit, so you met guys that always had a little money and you never knew exactly what they did. And they had their little hands and a lot of different other things, stuff like that. That was the hustler. He did his
Right.
hustle on. You know what I mean? And that's how he rolled. And he always had some bread, money. Yeah.
Multiple streams of income. Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. We're still at the keeper mixer. We talked about Sharice already. We covered her and her two dates and her choices. We get to Ashley and the Donald. The Donald says that he can see himself even getting serious up to and including marriage with Ashley. Um, and they actually share their first kiss. What do you guys think? Is the Donald into Ashley like that? What do you guys think? Is this genuine? Is there really real chemistry between them? Let's go down here to JR. Are you too busy, JR? You got
Nah,
what's going on? Do you see it for Ash and Donald?
no, Donald's the initial reject and the consolation prize as soon as Kirsten got booted. And then I'm not sure how long that's going to last, though, because as much as I think they have a type of chemistry, but I don't think it's as strong as she was with Kirsten. And if she's in forgiving mood, like she's obviously taken Donald back into her good books or whatever, maybe because there was no one else, maybe because she genuinely liked him, who knows. But Kirsten's going to reappear next week. Now she's going to be in a real dilemma, you know? So I think the connection is fairly genuine. And if I was Donald, personally, I wouldn't want to come back after being booted off the show already, especially for the reason that she kicked him for. You know, I don't think that's a good look. If he gets dumped again, I pity that guy.
Just totally
twice
block.
on national TV by the same person.
Right. Just totally block Ashley's number if he gets booted or blocked or denied by Ashley a second time, because I'm wondering what you're saying. I'm wondering too, is she as committed and care about him as much as he seems to have feelings for her? Anyone else, either one of you want to jump in on the whole Ashley and Donald debate?
I think he was the right pick for her, and it wasn't that other guy. It makes sense to me. Which he needs, you know what I mean? The Kirsten guy, was that the tall guy? They act like he wasn't interested.
Oh yeah, Kirsten. Talking about Kirsten, yeah.
Oh yeah, he wasn't feeling her at all. I mean, you know what I mean? Long term or anything like. So that ain't.
He was feeling Stormy. He was feeling Stormy more than he was feeling her. You're right.
Of course. Have you seen Stormy in person? Jeez, my lord. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not even in comparison. So like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. So this guy, it's more her speed. So if she don't like that, then she got a problem, not him.
Yeah, but you know that's not her tall, athletic type. She likes some 6'4", 6'5". Donald is. I think he's great looking. I think he's a good looking guy. But like I said, a lot of these women are fixated on a specific type. You got to fit into this mold. You got to fit into this pattern. And if you're not fitting into it, and when the next guy that comes along that blinks at him, they think that he's in love. Like she thought that Kirsten liked her, but Kirsten has never really cared for Ashley that much, from what I can see.
No, she has to decide if she wants marriage or does she want a quick sexual thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you want a marriage, that dude ain't gonna marry you, or any guy like him. That ain't how it's gonna work. So, you know, and I'm all for a woman to say, oh, you know, I just want a good-looking man. I ain't really looking for marriage. I only live once. I want to have some fun. I want to get, you know, a sexy man to get my sexual liberation on, right? I don't have a problem with that, but just be honest with yourself. Because, yeah, you looking for it. I mean, come on. Like, I don't see it. Like, I don't see it. Like I said, especially.
You're right there, Ron. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I'm glad as a man that you are honest enough to pinpoint some of these men that we all know as women that they're for the streets. They're coming on here playing in our faces, and
well, they're not. He's being obvious with it, but if Donald ain't good enough, who is? Like, you know what I mean? You got to ask yourself that question.
I'm not talking about Donald. I was talking about what you were saying about the tall guy, Kirsten.
Yeah. Kirsten he's tall. He's an athlete. He got different options than what Ashley. It ain't what he's looking for. Yeah, it ain't what he's looking for. You know what I mean? he ain't looking for her. He could have had her a while back. He didn't want it then. He don't want it now. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. But you know, he's on the show. You know what I mean? And it's still a kind of a gameness to the show. It's still an elimination process to it and stuff. Some guys gonna hang along, you know, for the ride.
Hey, Shauna Filter. Hey, Shauna, I haven't seen you in a minute. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah. Shauna Filter, he says that Donald also lied to Ashley, though, when he told her that she was healed. He's just bumping his gums. Okay.
I said that too, right?
You did.
Yeah, he said what she wanted to hear.
Well, you know what, though? But here's my thing now. Okay, now here, bear with me for just a second and listen to me good. Here's my thing with that, though. We have the ability right now. He's in the show, right? The show is now wrapped. But if we're watching it, as we're watching it, he hasn't seen the things about Ashley that we've seen. He has not been privy to her dates. He has not been privy to all the insight we have. So how can we say that he knows that she's not healed and he's lying? He maybe can only see just the dates that he goes on with her. So to him, she does seem healed. But you also got to factor in that Donald, isn't Donald the same guy that said that every relationship he's ever been in has been unhealthy? This is the same guy.
That's exactly the same guy. Yep.
Okay. So factor that into it. That's why I said when you got to look at the facts, you got to consider all of it. Take it into context.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned that as well, like in my opening statements, like the fact that he may not have seen everything that we've seen, but he was also very complimentary to the point where it's like he may be setting himself up for a surprise when he actually does see some of the things that we've seen, or he encounters more parts of her personality that he hasn't seen yet. Yeah, like Donald seems like a cool dude, like a safe choice, but the problem is he isn't her first choice. But when I say that, I mean, even though they met first and they had their opportunity first, the chemistry that I saw between her and Kirsten on that initial meeting, like she didn't have that energy for Donald. So, like Donald is probably a good, safe bet to have in her back pocket as she navigates through the rest of the show, hoping to find someone probably a bit better. But I also think she actually likes his softer side. Like he seems to be a very compassionate, very self-aware dude. You know, if he messes up, he's not afraid to apologize and try and smooth it over and move on. He doesn't come across as the volatile type of person, and being as erratic as she is, has displayed herself to be in some instances, I don't think she needs someone that's gonna match that energy. You know, she needs someone like a Donald, but Kirsten will match her energy. If she does something, Kirsten's gonna give her silent treatment, or just he's gonna flip her off as if she doesn't really matter. Whereas Donald, he always shows that he cares. Like, he always has to emphasize that he cares.
What do you think about this last line of they're saying in the chat about Ashley overthinking things, but at the end she says Ashley always romanticizes and fantasizes. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
Yeah, I think she does overthink, and that comes from being anxious and being fearful and wanting to have control all the time. As much as she can have control over a situation, she's going to try to have it. And I think there's some low self-esteem there and some insecurity. She spent the first couple of weeks watching all the other ladies and how they're doing, and how their relationships are going. And I think she also showed at times she was very down on herself, and her, she was tearful and she was very emotional about her predicament. So, I think Ashley is, she may be a nice person. She may have a nice, bubbly, fun personality, but there's some overcompensation there. And Donald may be a good placeholder for her. Whether he's the guy that she ends up at the end with, I'm not sure.
I so hate that term placeholder, because for me as a woman, that means something. It's almost like your second or third best. But you're
Exactly.
right. But you're right though. I do see that with Ashley. It's like she's keeping Donald around while she's waiting for Kirsten to circle back with her. It feels like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that that behavior. I don't agree with that. I mean, I know this is a dating show, but if Ron, if you like him, then like him for who he is. And like someone else pointed out, just, stop overthinking things, be in the moment with him, focus on him, and quit waiting for these men to circle back to you. Because part of the problem, I think, with Ashley is to, like what the lady said, is that she romanticizes and fantasizes, and then she creates a false reality. She's living in a false reality all the time, and it's how she ends up getting hurt and making these poor decisions, because she's not really looking at the facts. She's not looking at the guy's actual actions and the motive behind the action. She's just, I don't know, and she's all in her head some kind of way.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I like a woman that fantasize and romanticize a situation, but a lot of times with those women, they can't trust the situation they fantasize about.
Right. We're not talking about, to your point, Ryan, we're not talking about women that are soft. We're not talking about the woman that has finally met her person, and that person has the two of them had decided to be each other's person, right? Then you can kind of do a little more romanticizing and fantasize. But at the point where you're actively collecting data to make an informed decision, that's the part where you should not be romanticizing. Don't be romanticizing that man. Like, who's romanticizing Mizell? Like, you over here romanticizing Mizell, and me, the woman with the clear vision, is looking at Mizell for who he is and sees the W on his forehead. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? You're gonna waste 4 years with Mizell, and you're gonna end up still being single, still no children, or children out of wedlock, because he's not gonna marry you. So, like, what's the point? Like, if you really know what you want, why are you wasting time fantasizing about these guys that are for the streets?
Well, you don't want good old Donald. So what you gonna do? You gotta pick.
That's sitting there telling her in her face on national TV, no less. I think, now here's the part where I think Donald is very brave, just like I think that Cameron is very brave, for the same reason, but with different women. Donald is on national TV basically telling Ashley that he would be willing to marry her if things work out. He just wants to get to know her. He wants to love on her. He's, like you said, he's got this softer side. He's compassionate, like JR pointed out. But she wants to focus in on the tall, handsome ex-ball player. Okay.
Yeah, she's not ready then. Like I mean, 'cause that's what a husband is, a guy who's intentional and he has a vision for himself to get married, and he's already thinking advance of how the situation could work out and what he could do, and he's already visualizing it. That's a husband. But if you don't want one of them, you got to be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of men like that's able to do that, and honestly, they get overlooked all the time. And all these women walking around talking about they can't find no long-term man.
Right. I know. I mean, like, it's not making much sense, but I'm just saying this is what we got with Ashley that we're dealing with. And she's got a soft spot in my heart too, because as JR points out all the time, she's bubbly and she's warm. She's
got a great personality and everything's cool, but Ashley, out of all the women that's on here, I would thought she'd be the one taking this probably the serious.
Right. Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Just where she's at in life, in ATL of all places, location means something. You in Atlanta. This, to get a chance to meet some other guys outside of Atlanta, what women are dying to do. They can't stand the guys in Atlanta, and with the situation that's going on there. So this is like her chance to meet guys outside of Atlanta. That's not that far. New Orleans, Atlanta ain't too far, and kind of hone in on a guy. You know what I mean? Because you ain't about to find. It's hard to find back in the ATL for her. I don't think she might not be able to find it there. This. I would look to this show if I was her as an opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
The girls and stuff, you got girls in DC, Miami, and Houston. That's different. You're in Atlanta. You might not be the younger light skinned hair down your back girl in Atlanta, the guy, you know, you got a high gay population, you got a high F-boy population down there. It's all in shambles down there, and they're giving you a platform to meet hand-picked guys that are not that far from you. Y'all still got enough, you know, distance in between there to have a start off with a long distance relationship and try to turn it into something. Right. And you could date these guys off the grid, and you could do it in the comfort of nothing to lose. You're not getting eliminated. You're the star of the show, so you can get a chance to really hone in and get to know these guys and relax and stuff. You're not about to get booted off or anything. Not ready to love. Where you're worried about every day you're about to get eliminated or some BS is about to happen. And this is I would have took this as an opportunity to say, okay, this is my chance really to hone in on a good man away from all that BS that's going on in ATL in the dating scene right now.
Wow. Wow. Sean's weighing in. He's saying that he doesn't believe that Donald is sincere. What? Say what, Sean?
You don't think he's sincere?
Yeah, that's what Sean's saying. I don't know. I didn't listen to you guys.
When Donald was giving out his list of qualities to like about her and stuff, we were still in the meat market stage of it. So you didn't say, oh, I think she's gorgeous. I like the curves on her body. You know, it was none of that. I wanted to hear something like that, how you were just so attracted to this woman, because we're still in the newer stage of the meat market where your looks do matter right now. You guys don't know that long. You know what I mean? This is like still.
Donald's always picking Ashley up, you know what I mean, to the point where she's got to pull a little short dress down. He's always very physical with her. So to me, it seems clear that he's attracted to her physicality.
Some women got to hear it though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm bad at words in operation. I'm trying to work on it myself, but sometimes women are serious about wanting to hear it. So
that is important. But he's clearly, I don't know, maybe it's just me what I'm seeing, but from my point of view, he's clearly attracted to that woman physically. And I'm going to go so far out to venture as a brown-skinned woman myself. I'm going to say, because the one thing I found out when I was dating, I was planning to move to Houston years ago, was that I was on an online dating service at the time. And there was this one guy I had the pictures in my profile. And so then when we started talking after a while, he said, well, send me another picture, send me a recent picture or whatever. I sent him this picture. I'm chocolate in this picture, right? Because I'm this person that, like, in the winter, I'm like 4 shades lighter than I am in the summer, right? I tan very easily. And this guy, I sent him the picture, the summer picture, and he's like, oh, this is false advertising. You're brown skin. And I'm like, okay. And I've never had a problem up here in the north about being brown skin. I've never had a problem whether it was in the summer or whether it was in the winter. I've never had anybody give me a colorist remark. I'm always the person that's in between the very dark skinned person and in between the very light person. So never had a problem with colorism. And then I get down to the South and this guy's saying, you're too brown skin. And I'm like, wow, that's a real thing down there. Down in the South, people are really checking women out to see if they're light enough to be the mother of their children. So I said all that to get back to Ashley. Maybe seemed like I took it the long way around, but I think for Ashley, I felt like in my private conversations about her in this show, I feel like part of the thing that she's probably dealt with being down in Atlanta is that a lot of guys would look at her and say, she's cute, but she's too chocolate.
No, I think she's cute, but she's too ratchet with them nails and the hair.
Oop.
Like, that's what I
oh
think
Lord.
Is. So
wait a minute, you said that the hair and the nails?
Yeah, I think the image of that being your wife, I think some guys will be like, nah, that's too much, that's too wild, that's too out there. It's not conservative enough.
Okay.
So she may have a softer personality, maybe bubbly, have a sense of humor, but like the whole hair, nails type thing. Some guys, they're not attracted to that look. And even though those things can be changed, and it's a very superficial thing, it still can give an impression that you're probably not as conservative, right? But I also do commend Donald for not objectifying her. If he does like her curves, her butt, her boobs, whatever, he hasn't made a point of saying that. he's always kept it about her personality. So I'll give him kudos for that. And she seems to be quite superficial because she's only going for Kirsten because of his height and his appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Wait a minute. So are you saying it's a good thing that Donald is focusing in on her intrinsic
personality and not
personality?
objectifying her?
Okay.
Because then we'll be dogging him for saying, "Oh man, this guy's only looking at booty and he's not serious." But at least he's showing that he's not just interested in that. He's actually seeing her personality for what he thinks it is, right?
Oh, one of my real life friends says, "Cute but ratchet." Oh my goodness. Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all
Well,
right. Okay.
well,
No, go ahead.
Aubrey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Aubrey. Well, I mean, I've never lived there, but there is, to back up what you're saying, there is a heavy degree of Creole culture in New Orleans, and the lighter the better. Because New
French.
Orleans was home to a lot of mulattoes, French, mulatto octoroons and quadroons and octoroons.
Oh yeah, absolutely. To
If
the
you look
point
at
where you can't even
if you look at
determine if they're
you
Caucasian
can't
or
even
black.
determine, and that's correct, and that ambiguity between race was a source of privilege for a lot of women. In fact, a lot of the W houses, the word you used, the W houses, that
Those houses,
lot,
yes.
those the brothels that the men preferred the lighter women, and the darker women could not work in those houses because they were seen as black, quote unquote black.
Yeah.
I forgot.
But
I saw something on that, but that culture is still, it might be a little bit better now, but I mean, I think there's still the dominant thematic presentation that hey, the Creole culture, the closer to maybe what Charisse looks like on TV, as opposed to maybe what an Ashley looks like. That the tends to be the gamut, between the two. What a lot
right,
of
but
men go for versus what a lot of men don't go for.
but the only light skinned person on the show is Charisse. The other three girls are quite
True.
chocolate. So, and that's not winning her any guys. Like that,
True.
that her appearance isn't making guys flock to her like that. She only just now had to have 2 blind dates because there's no one checking for her.
Well, yeah. Now, Cherie, she's a special case because between her ultra
She sure is.
pinkiness and her lack of good conversation, her ability to even smile. Let's even look at that. I'm sorry. Like I said, I have a heart for Charisse, but I can't again look at the actual facts. She has an inability to even smile on a lot of these days. Well, this episode she actually did better because let's look at it. She had 2 blind dates and she hugged both of the guys. So that's a lot for Charisse. Like some people just aren't into physical touch, especially if they don't really know you very well. And in the South, that is again a big part of the culture is we greet each other with hugs. That's a big part. So.
Right. But then she allowed the forehead kiss from Marcel, right?
Marcel, yeah, she did. She did.
And she had her head on his shoulder too, right? So.
Well, yeah, but she had been on a date with Mizell at that point. That was like the second time her meeting up with Mizell that we know of. When she was at the mixer. You're talking about Mizell and Charisse, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she had already went dancing with Mizell. Do you not remember that she had went on the dancing date and they called Mizell Soft Shoe? Yeah.
So that's how fast it was for Mizell to melt her heart. Is that what you're saying? Like,
I don't know. Did he melt her heart, or do you feel? What do you feel? Do you feel like she was doing that as in opposition to the guy that put his hand around the back of her chair around her?
I think she was attracted to maybe him being a bit more outgoing or coming across as having more conversation than Maurice had. But I'm not sure if there's a connection there. And she was quick to tell Danzy keep your hands to yourself. Did I tell you to touch me? You know, she's very outspoken. So if there was no connection with Mizell like that, then why would she allow him to kiss her on the forehead and put her head on his shoulder and all that stuff? And then she's so quick to say, you know what, well, she's gonna drop him because he's shown interest to Venetia. She don't care about that man like that. Not at all.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. I think that's those are very valid points that you're saying. Zadia recaps all the ups and downs finally to get to the point and tell Cam that she is keeping him around, and he seems relieved. A lot of people are saying that he's really not that into her, but guys, you want to give your final weigh in? Is Cam really into Zadia or no? What do you think, JR?
Huh? So what was that?
Is Cam in? Do you feel like Cam is actually still into Zadia? Do you feel like he's into her and there's still that connection there?
I feel like he's into her if she wants to still try and go with him. Okay. I think he can easily let her go and focus on his work and his business. I think he's seen all he needs to see at the moment. If she wants to continue, they can. But if she wants to go another way, I think he's easy about letting her go.
Okay, so he's kind of maybe 50-50 almost. It sounds like what you're
She's
saying.
Like, it's up to her. It's up to her whether they continue or not.
Why do guys do that? Why does it get to a point where sometimes with you guys
True.
that you want us to make the decision? Like what is that about? What is that about?
We don't want to be seen as the bad guy, so we don't.
So we can handle it better. We can handle it better. Yeah.
Y'all can handle it better, really?
We can handle it better.
Yeah. Wonder where that term "stalkers" comes from. Okay.
If a man just came out and told a woman.
No, go ahead, sure.
If a came out and told a woman, look, if a man just came out and told a woman, look, I'm going in a different direction. What you mean you're going in a different direction? I know you were messing with somebody already. Blah blah blah. Versus a lot of us men, if you tell us that. If you tell a lot of us men that, okay, we'll play it cool, might be in front of your face, like, okay, all right. Now I might go and talk trash about you afterwards, But I ain't gonna retort back to you like, what you mean you'll never find another one better than me? Blah, 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 blah. I ain't gonna sit there and argue with you back and forth, Just like we talked about last week.
You're not gonna be sassy. You're not gonna be sassy about it.
Sassy. No, ain't sassy. No, ain't gonna be sassy about it. Ain't no need to. Just keep on going. Shoot.
Yeah, someone in the
I
chat.
think, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we handle rejection a little bit different. We handle rejection a little bit different than women do.
We're used to being rejected more.
Oh, we used to be. Yeah, used to be. Yeah, used to.
Now, that does make sense that men are more in the habit of being rejected. But I don't know. I'm listening to you guys, and I said, you know what? This is all spoken from a place of privilege. You two are men, right? And you're speaking from a place of privilege, because what you don't understand is that women, when they reject men, they oftentimes have to deal with safety issues afterwards. Okay. And that's why I said that's where that term stalking comes from. So just saying, but just something to keep in mind. Darika says that I guess she's talking about Cameron. He's not that attached to Zadia. And lastly, we're wrapping this up, guys. Okay. Oh, so we move on past all the mixer, and we see in the last scene we've got Vernicia has been set up on a blind date by no other than the matchmaker Tamiko with Lizelle. I'm sorry, I meant to say Mizell with Mizell. And Vernicia, she seems to be annoyed by this. What are your thoughts, JR? Why does Vernicia seem to be annoyed on this date with him?
Because she sees him as someone that downplayed their brief connection for the sake of trying to weasel his way out of offending Charisse with how he maneuvered. Because when Tamika and Charisse had him cornered, instead of him saying, look, I found Venetia attractive and, I gave her my number and that's where I wanted to, I thought that I was allowed to do that. He didn't say that. He started making up some story about bags and couldn't find stuff and all the rest of it, right? So I think that Venetia immediately lost interest because she didn't like the way that made her feel like,
Okay.
I feel like if he had said, you know what, I like Venetia, this, that, the other, she would have been more open to continuing down that path with him. But he didn't. And then for them to bring him back, like, I think they tried to caveat it by saying, we're bringing someone back from your past that we feel it was unresolved or it could be worked out. Why are they bringing back Mizell? They never had anything.
Right.
Anyway,
that's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, they never had anything like that. So it looked like he just had an opportunity to clear the air on what his thought process was when he was talking to Tamika and Charisse.
Yeah.
And Venetia's already made her mind up that she ain't going to get to know him no more. She sees him as a liar, someone that downplayed her, which is a shot to her ego, and she's not feeling it.
True.
Sean, thank you for that.
I mean, because I'm thinking that that's good commentary, JR. I mean, because I thought when Tamika said someone from your past, I thought Venetia probably would have thought like, Jabari, must be Jabari.
Exactly.
I mean, she was shocked that it, because I mean, that's the only two people we've seen it with Jabari and Tabari. That's it.
Right.
That she had an interest in. So I mean, like I said, that was just probably just to give him the story time to let him air out whatever it was. Yeah, or Joy. Well, I don't think they would have brought Joel to the. I don't know. They might have, right? You never know.
I was about to say that too.
Line like that. Go.
Same area.
Yeah, Red Love. Yeah, same area. So who knows what it would. Joy had it been Joel, I don't know. But I mean, she never had any deep feelings toward Mizell. I mean, it seemed like she loathed him more than anything, because she was literally looked like she was ticked off that when she saw it was him.
Yeah, I think the idea that,
and no matter how much explanation.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was saying no matter how much of an explanation he gave.
Well, he's given a word salad, though. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but when someone is giving you an explanation of what happened, a misunderstanding, a miscommunication, that's all great. But if they're going to give you a word salad, just like he gave on the interview, you guys got to go over and watch Crystal XO, because I was there live, when Crystal was interviewing Mizell. And I'm sorry, but when you start giving a word salad and everything, it's like double talk, triple talk, the bag I lost, the bag I was trying to get back. He's doing the same thing that he did on the show when Tamika came over to him and she just simplified it and said, look, dude, it is what it is. Like, just be honest. You could have talked to Venetia, but you just should have told Charisse ahead of time. You should have told Charisse that you're interested in talking to someone else. That's it. That's all. What's the problem?
I think the problem is that he doesn't have to do that because they're not committed. Charisse had other connections at the time, and the guys, from what we've heard from 3 different guys, is that and Crystal XO said that one of her friends also was told this, who applied on the show. Okay. The guys are not told that they're not told the same information that the ladies are. They're basically told that it's going to be a ready to love style show and anyone's fair game, which is why Venetia also said that unless you're married, unless there's a ring on it, you're fair game. All right. So I think he was talking word salad because, like I said, he found himself caught, and I don't think he knew what to say or how to get out of it. So he just started talking a load of waffle.
but to your point, I'm sorry to just cut in, but real
Mm.
quick, but to your point, if he feels like he has no allegiance because they're not married, they're not in a relationship, then why the word salad? See, that's the part where you're looking shaky.
Because he's in
Stand on
trouble.
business. Go ahead.
He's in trouble. He's getting chastised, and so he's trying to weasel his way out of it.
Weasel you.
Not that what he did was wrong, but it's the
Yeah.
fact that he's been caught in a position where now people are coming at him.
But see, that's the thing that as you're growing and adulting and learning as a child, a teenager, a high schooler, college person, a young man, that's the thing right there. If you can't stand on your word, if you can't stand on what it was, and you can't simply state it, do you see how that's problematic? No matter what you're saying that he's being chastised, but none of these women are his mother. None of these women have the power to do anything to him but simply talk to him.
I don't know. They can embarrass him on national TV. They don't have to be his mother.
He's already embarrassed himself, though. He's
Yeah,
already, to
he
me, he's
did.
already done that. He already did that to himself.
He did, and he's also embarrassed Venetia as well by not picking her over Charisse. So that's why she's hostile towards him.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Now that it took me a while to come to that, and I just came to that recently as I keep looking at the facts and I keep thinking there's something missing. I think with Vernicia, I love you, Vernicia. I can't wait for you to come on for the interview after the show is over. But I do think with Vernicia, she's standing on the fact that like it's an ego thing. It's a kind of a vanity thing, and it is a principle too, though. To her point, because if he wanted her, he stepped out. Because I rewatched that scene over and over again when they're at the party, Zadia's birthday party, right? She, Vernicia goes to get a drink, and Mizell is standing right there, and like a little puppy dog, he follows her over to where the drinks are, and he's making all this conversation with her. Okay, if he felt that attracted to her, then why not stand on that when he's talking to somebody like Crystal XO, or even when he's talking to Tamika and Charisse? Why not stand on the fact that I'm attracted to both women, or I'm attracted to Vernicia more, however he wants to say it, but just say it. But don't try to make it about your bags that were lost and all this other blubber, blubber,
Exactly.
blubber. That's
I agree
crazy.
with that. I agree with that. But it's the funny thing is he chose to protect Charisse's feelings at the time and try and come with the word salad. And Venetia chose him over Charisse, who she'd been in her house with for 4 weeks. She chose to give out the number and see if they can hook up over the fact that her and Charisse are friends in this process.
JR, what did Jamaica tell him on that first night when they sat down, the first episode? Everyone is fair game.
Exactly. So that's why that it, like, in a way, if he's been told that everyone's fair game, then that's where the confusion is going to come in. But I agree. Instead of just saying, look, I like Venetia. She's attractive. She has, she's more conversational. I had more conversation in that few seconds when we were getting drinks and I was pouring the drinks for her than we had on our date, Charisse. Like, there's more chemistry between me and Venetia. I'm sorry, I'm going in a different direction. He could have said that too, but he didn't choose to do that. And that's what ended his stint on the show, his brief stint. Because there's no way Venetia is going to forgive him. So
no, not at all. Not at all.
Nah, the ego's too bruised.
Yeah, right. He got a better chance as a snowball, and you know where.
Yeah, she wants to be chosen first. She expected him to say, "Look, I like Venetia, and that's where I want to go," and he didn't do that.
And Venetia, to Ron's point, I know Ron's not here right now, but to Ron's point, Venetia is used to being chosen first. So
exactly,
you've got 4 women, and all of them are quite attractive, quite beautiful. But if you were to pick 2, maybe you got Charisse and Vernicia, and both of them are attractive and they're used to being picked. You're not gonna Vernicia's saying, nah, you're not gonna put me second to her. Nah,
exactly,
it's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of, I don't know if anybody else has sensed it, but you feel like there's kind of, Vernicia, again, she's got that southern way of being nice to you, but I don't think Vernicia is really very fond of Charisse either.
Are
She's
they
nice
fond
to
of
you.
each other?
I'm sorry. What did you say, JR? And then I'm gonna come up here.
I said,
Here to you.
are they really fond with each other, or are they getting along just for the sake of being on the show?
I would pick the latter if I were a picking person. If I were a betting person, I would bet on the latter. They're getting along for the sake of the show. Also, Sharice, I don't think Sharice won't tangle with Vernisha. Now, when it comes to just all things physicality, Vernisha got them hands. She don't want to mess with Vernisha. She would go at Zadia because Zadia is like what 5'1", 5'2". You know, Zadia's the littlest gal in the house, but she ain't about to go head toe to toe with Vernisha. That's not happening. But
I think
Sean, you're
I
up.
think
Oh,
Sharice
go
I
ahead.
think Sharice picks her battles. Like she knows that Venetia's got a stronger personality and won't necessarily rise to the same level of back and forth. Whereas, even Zadia acted unbothered because that was the best way to get under Sharice's skin. Like just act unbothered. I think Venetia would give some back, and Sharice wouldn't like being on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, I think Vernisha not only got the hands and the hips, as Grace Mercy Save said, not only the hands and the hips, but now that I think about it, Vernisha's got that tongue too. So, like I said, my mother was from Houston, same area. Vernisha's from, or has been in most of her life, because I think she may have came up from Louisiana or something like that. I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. Them tongues down there, they ain't nothing to play with. They are not anything to play with. As my mother say, we can be nice, nasty. Like I can get you told so well and shade you so bad and cut you down with my tongue. You will not even know I sliced you till you get home. You'll be like, dang, she sliced me. Ooh,
Wow.
she cut to the quick, to the white meat.
Mhm.
And that's why some of these guys have got to be on the lookout.
That's
got
it.
to choose wisely as well. You got to use some discernment as well, because we don't want to be on the receiving end of that mouth, that tongue lashing.
Yeah, it's an occupational hazard. Sean, as we wrap up, what are your thoughts about this whole Vernisha Mizell debacle?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just thinking about the Michelle A song, "Nicety." Some people say I'm nice. Some people say I'm nasty. You put it together, that's nicety. Nice
Yeah,
nasty. So
yeah.
that's what it was. That's what she is, nice nasty. I ain't gonna get in the gutter with you, but I'll slice you up and let you know, put you in your place.
Right, yeah. Sharice don't. She can't go up against Bernicia. That's like they're not even in the same weight category. And I don't mean that literally. I mean that figuratively. They're not even close. They're not the class that Bernicia is in. Sharice she can only aspire to that level of nice, nasty tongue action. She could only aspire to that. That, in my opinion, that's my opinion. But if you guys are thinking something different, you're out in the chat. We're about to drop out of here. We appreciate you guys some of you that hung around with us for 3.5 hours, 2 hours. I saw my girl Robo. She was still in the chat. She said good night. I was like, dang, I didn't even know Roro was still up. So I'm really impressed with you, Roro. If you're hearing this on the replay, I am really impressed with you. And I want to thank you, because it's people like you that keep JR, Sean, Sean Stokes here. Not talking about Sean Unfiltered, but one of these days, maybe I'll be blessed to have Sean Unfiltered come up on the panel. Ron Freeman, who was here earlier, of course, Calvin Thompson, who has his own YouTube channel. All of these people, you guys keep us here, keep us doing what we love to do, even on the darkest of days. I just enjoy you guys. You want to tell the people what you feel about them, what you think, and what you got going on your channel, JR?
JRX TV on YouTube is where I collaborate with people like Aubrey and other commentators on these reality TV shows dealing with relationships and things that we may resonate with from time to time. Instagram, JRX TV, again, is my handle, and that's where I deal with health, fitness, well-being, and there's more exercise themed, lifestyle themed, mindset themed content there. So if you appreciate the content, For me or any of my other fellow panelists, please like, share, and subscribe the content. Follow. Get some of these nuggets.
Yeah, wow. Thank you. You got all the things that are thinking tonight there, JR. You on point there. You're on point, as always. I appreciate that. And Sean, would you tell the people where they can find you as I find your information here?
Yes, yes. You can find me on Facebook at Sean Stokes. My first name is SHAUN. Last name is Stokes, STOKES. And you can also find me on IG at SANDRES 1906. It's once again SANDRES 1906. No spaces in between. And JR, I just followed you on Instagram. But anyway, tomorrow we celebrate 117 years of scholarship, manly deeds, and love for all mankind. To all the good brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, goodwill is the
Woo!
monarch of this house. Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, you can't beat that. You can't beat that at all, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm actually Aubrey. I have enjoyed this stint with you guys. You guys have been great. If you're catching us on the replay, be sure to also like, share, and subscribe too. And feel free to drop down in the comment section. We've been having quite the conversation going on over on the Married at First Sight videos. And also over here on the Ready to Move videos. What you guys think about the premise of the show? Should they bring it back and flip it and make it 4 guys in the city? What city should they go to next? Should they go to Ron City? I think they should go to Houston and they should pick Ron and put him on the panel. I really do. Where should they go next? Should they go to DC and put the guys on? Maybe we can see a rematch of Dante and Naeem or something like that.
Put Ron and Phil up there. Ron, Phil, and Naeem up there.
Yeah. I mean, I can really see
Ron,
it.
Phil,
I can
and Naeem
see
up there.
I can see a couple of guys there. I can see a couple
And
of the
P.O.
guys.
Put P.O. up there as well.
And Corey
P.O. Yeah, there you go.
And Corey
There you
Bleen.
go, P.O.
P.O.
And Corey.
P.O.
Corey.
Lord.
Yeah.
No, the post office. Corey Bleen. Yeah.
What about what is it? JG Smooth, or what's the smooth guy down in Houston? The
KG
DJ?
Smooth.
KG Smooth. Yeah.
What's his name? Put Chris. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, the DJ. No, put
the one they got the guy second chance to. Yeah.
Right.
Not AJ. Is it AJ?
AJ, that was the one that Kyra, like the tall chocolatey guy. Yeah, AJ. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Good night, guys. Good night. We're gonna slide. We're gonna shimmy and shake on out of here. Let me get that music up, guys. Well, my moderator says no. We can't have no Corey and no KG Smooth. Grace Mercy is saying no. Don't cancel the show. I think there's actually a lot good about the show. We're gonna maybe get the. What do you guys think? Maybe the matchmaker. Maybe she needs to get more heavily involved next time around.
Nah, I think they're not going to listen. I think they're headstrong on who their type is and their list of requirements. So no matter who the matchmaker is, they're still going to stick to what they used to.
Okay, that's a possibility. That's a very good possibility. You may be right about that. Well, all of these things, these are the questions, the burning questions for the comment section. So drop down and answer some of those with your own perspective and your own thoughts and your own point of view. I would love to hear them. Okay. Say good night, guys.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night,
morning
guys.
to you, JR. Good night, everybody else.
Oh yeah, good morning over there. Yeah, sorry to keep you up so late this time. All right, good night, guys.
ASAP. Good night, people.
Right. Peace out. Love you guys.
Good night.
Peace.